Season 2.
We're at the end. We did the whole thing. Whole thing. Jeff, you asked me a moment ago, did I watch every episode? The answer is yes. I did watch every episode. I would hope so. We talked about every episode.
Did I rewatch every episode for this show? No, I did not.
I did not either. I mean, in my head, I was like, I'm totally going to rewatch every episode.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it happen. But, Brent, I think like a lot of the people we have that are watching this right now, I have a job and I have to be at that job during the day. And then I have a family and I have to spend time with that family.
You gotta be a dad and a husband and all that stuff, right? Yeah.
And it's weird. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the first time my wife actually watched a whole episode of Babylon 5 with me was Comes the Inquisitor. So when I was like, hey, let's watch some Babylon 5, she's like, no, I want to spend time with you. And if you watch Babylon 5, I'm going to go do something else.
That's better. You and I that is probably the one episode this season that you and I are just in completely different spaces on.
You very much gave me a different outlook on it, but my wife had no basis in reality for your outlook. She's like, I don't care. I don't know these people. Like that was yeah. But you know what I did do to prep for this one?
What's that?
I went to our Patreon because what's on our Patreon?
What's that?
Your notes and my notes. So I was able to go through and look at all of our notes to be like, oh yeah, that's what we thought about this one. Oh,
I was thinking about that. I have a much better idea of the season 1 episodes and what happened in them. Like if you name the episode, I'll be like, oh yeah, this is what happened in that episode. I have a much better idea for season 1 than I do for season 2.
Same.
Like you may hear me go, wait, what happened in that episode? Like that may happen quite a bit.
I actually have a little cheat sheet from our notes to go for the same thing. And we'll talk about this when we get to some pieces, but
can you send that to me?
The ups and downs were so disparate in season 1 that they stand out. I think we talked about it last week or the week before about how it's like, just kind of like, yeah, there's variation, but there's not massive variation. And so they all kind of blend in a way.
Like I remember Grow Pose.
I do.
That one sticks out in my head for some reason. I don't know.
And now for a word that sticks out because
that one sticks out. The Inquisitor one sticks out quite a bit. Point of departure and revelations both stick out.
Mm-hmm.
But when we get into others, like I'm kind of looking through the list of episode names: The Long Dark, The Distant Star, which we have all the way down at the bottom. Acts of Sacrifice. There lies all the. I remember these episodes. A Spider in the Web. Which one was Spider in the Web? Was that?
That was
no. Was Race Through Dark Places.
That was the space zombie Mars guy. Was Spider in the Web.
I don't even remember that.
No. Oh my gosh.
Space zombie Mars guy. What?
Yeah. So the head of the Mars First thing who died, and then
yeah. See, that's gonna be I'm gonna need that. So anyway, YouTube, that's what you guys are in store for as Jeff and I are about to do our season 2 wrap up. Season 2 wrap up. We've taken a break. We have not watched any new Babylon 5. I haven't gone on to Babylon 5 season 3 yet. Have you gone on to season 3 yet, Jeff?
Nope. I think I shared with the YouTube crowd last week. I know the theme song. That's what I got.
Yeah, you're one step ahead of me. I don't know anything. You'll tell me, I think, at the end of this episode what the first episode's name is.
Yeah, that's all I got. I got the name of this. I have the name of the season, right? Because they name the seasons, and I have the name of the first
I forgot about them doing that. Yeah, we should talk about that. That's cool. So anyway, we'll talk about all that, and we'll dive into all sorts of fun stuff just from this season, just revisiting, taking a breath, and kind of maybe trying to lock some of these episodes in the memory as we go forward. So Jeff, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's rock and roll, pal.
This is Babylon 5 for the first time, but now for the last time, you're going to hear our second season theme.
Oh,
so enjoy.
I like this one.
I like this one too. I'm still working on the next one, but enjoy this one. Here we go.
This is my first time.
You're new here, aren't you?
First time.
Welcome to Babylon 5 for the first time, not a Star Trek podcast. My name is Jeff Akin, and I have just watched the second season of Babylon 5 for the first time.
And I'm Brent Allen, and I've also watched the second season of Babylon 5 for the very first time, and I'm so excited to be here at the end. We're at the end, Jeff.
We are. We made it.
40% of the way through this show.
And I feel like it's just getting started.
Right. Right.
And normally, this is the part of the episode where I introduce our rule of three, where we talk about how we're Star Trek podcasters and we're going to make Star Trek references. But that is off for today. Not only are we going to make Star Trek references, that's all we're going to do. This is actually going to be a Star Trek podcast about Babylon 5.
We're going to do all of them.
All of them. Every single one. I have Memory Alpha open. I'm just going to start reading from it here pretty soon.
I've got Memory Beta. That's how deep I'm going.
That is deep. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. I am kidding. This is not a Star Trek podcast, but we're not going to hold ourselves to three. If we feel like we need to make the reference, we're going to make the reference in this one.
Feel free to throw a buzzer in there once in a while just because it's fun and pleasing for the ears for all of our listeners.
They love it. Our listeners love when we buzz ourselves. But you know what I love more than that is when our listeners buzz themselves.
Yes.
That's the best.
Yes. Be careful because this could be going wrong real fast in that conversation. Now, along with doing all of the Star Trek references that we said to celebrate, you know what else we're doing, Jeff?
What else are we doing?
We're having a very exciting giveaway.
Yes, we are.
This is at this point, this is now a tradition, I guess, with Babylon 5 for the very first time. And this season, we are giving away this inbox Captain John Sheridan vintage 1997 Captain John Pointing Sheridan with a teeny tiny Babylon 5 that he apparently swings around his head like a lasso. And we'll be doing this at some point during the course of today's show, Jeff. I didn't look ahead to see where we're doing it. It's not now, is it?
It's not now. We're going to do it a little bit later. We'll probably talk about it a couple more times because it's exciting and it's cool. And the way that people have entered to have an opportunity for this is they left a review on Apple Podcasts or Good Pods or Podchaser or somewhere. They screenshotted it. Then they sent that to us at babylon5first@gmail.com, the number 5, the word first, or at babylon1st on Twitter. And so we're going to hit that here a little bit later.
Jeff, are you sure that the past tense version of the word screenshot is screenshotted?
Maybe it's screenshot.
That's what I was thinking. Is it screenshot?
I would like you to keep your shatting off of my screen.
Be screenshot. No, that wouldn't make sense. I'm going to go with screenshot.
Screenshot nerd.
Oh,
that'd be cleaner than a screenshot, I think.
I don't know. Well, Jeff, along with that rule of three game that we are not playing today, there is another game that we do like to play in every single episode, and we are going to play this game today, where we get to the end and we try to guess what next week's episode is going to be about. Except last time when we did a wrap-up show for season 1, instead of just saying what the next episode was going to be about, although I think we did that too, we made a prediction of what season 2 as a whole is going to be about. So where this is the season 2 wrap-up, now is the time to look back at that prediction and see how close we were to being right about our predictions for season 2. So Jeff, do you remember, you got to think back, this has been months now, 22 weeks ago, right? What did you predict season 2 was going to be about? And how close were you?
It's almost 5 months ago. And the cool thing is on our website, babylon5first.com, the number 5, the word first, we have all of our episodes up there. So I did do a little prep and went back and re-listened to our season 1 wrap up because I have no idea. I had no idea what I guessed. But it was there, and I listened to it, and my guess was that the shadows were, this is called The Coming of Shadows, right? So that's season 2, so it's going to be the shadows coming up, and I thought it was going to be a conflict, a war between the shadows and the Vorlon, with everybody else caught in the middle, and the ultimate question that would be answered would be the one when when Morden was on the station and he ran into Kosh, and Kosh said, "They're not for you." And I thought we were going to determine or find out who they are and who they are for. So I mean, I was a little close in that there is a long-standing conflict between the Shadows and the Vorlon.
Right.
But there was no war with the Shadows directly in this one. People weren't caught in the middle. People that were caught in the middle were the ones who were actually at war. So maybe I don't know, 15, 20% credit on this one. What about you? What did you guess? How close did you come?
Well, instead of saying that there was this long-standing war between the Vorlons and the Shadows, I actually said that the Vorlons are the Shadows. That was my prediction. Was that they are the Shadows. Now, somewhere in the middle of the season, I said they're the same people, just two different sides of the coin. So I was really kind of hanging on to that. But I said that this would have something to do with Kosh. The Vorlons are coming, and they're going to take over everything. They're the harbingers of death, and everyone is going to have to team up against the Vorlons. So that would bring Londo and Jakar and the Nard and Centauri together in alignment, and then you've got the Minbari and the humans, whatever's going on with those guys, because we didn't know at the time, and that they were going to all have to go against Kosh, who showed us how awesome he was when he just went, boop, Deathwalker's gone. Right,
Deathwalker not walking no more.
Right. But then you said what you said, and I went, oh, so maybe the Vorlons could be the heroes. They're just jerks for not stopping all the bad stuff that's happened in the universe. And I might have been a little bit right about that, possibly. But I'm going to give you more credit than I give me.
I think either way, we were pretty far off. I mean, conceptually, we said some words. Yeah, we had some words that were right.
Yeah. When all those people who comment at our YouTube page or send us emails or tweet at us, and they're like, or Mastodon at us, I guess, or we're over there now, I guess. I don't know.
Whatever. Yeah.
When people do that and they're like, you're so close, but then you're so far off. This was you're so far off. You have no clue. I'm like, yeah. Because we've never seen it before.
Yeah, frankly, it would be weird if we were able to chart the course of an entire season, especially of Babylon 5. But we'll find out at the end of this episode. Maybe we'll be able to do that this time. Brent, you've unlocked your superpower in guessing a couple of the episodes.
I've nailed a few of them. Like, and even like, hey, here's my thought, and then you would say something, and then I would nail it on the comeback. Like I'd grab the rebound. That's been fun. If we were really on top of it, Jeff, we would grab like a highlight reel of that and we would play that right about now.
Right.
Well, we didn't.
Let's go to the replay.
You're right.
That's what you get.
The last 22 videos on our YouTube channel or in the podcast feed. Go check that out. Jeff, I want to call an audible.
Okay.
This isn't in our plan. This isn't in our notes. But typically in an ordinary show, we'd get to this spot and we'd say, well, let's remind the folks of what the episode actually was about. Let's take a moment and just sort of off the top of our head. We're both first-time watchers, so it's only in there as much as first-time watchers can be, right? The things that are really important, we don't know. They haven't stuck out to us yet. You know what I mean? So as best we can, let's take just a couple of minutes and go, what are the key themes? What are the major things from season 2? And we can even go back to season 1, I think, and just what do we know so far? Like, let's just sort of recap where we are as we head off into season 3.
Okay. Well, I think to kick that off, one of the biggest things that happened in the second season, transitioning from season 1, was the introduction of Captain Sheridan.
Right.
Sinclair going to Minbar and Sheridan coming in and then kind of upgrading the station, and that he's a captain. Ivanova became the commander. She started taking on more of those diplomatic duties, and just kind of the change in the command structure on the station.
That definitely was a big part. And we'll talk a little bit about that. I've got thoughts on how that affected specifically Ivanova in a way that I didn't realize until I started thinking about it. So we had that coming out of season 1. We had questions about what the heck happened at the Battle of the Line. And we got answers. Why did the Minbari just suddenly pull back when they were at the depths of victory? And we learned that Minbari souls have been disappearing, and they've actually are attaching themselves, or they're being born into, or whatever that process is, into humans. And so maybe not all humans are part Minbari, but they are. And I predicted Sheridan's part Minbari, not Sheridan, Sinclair, but I think Sheridan probably is as well.
Yeah. We predicted that too. You predicted that.
Right.
Yeah.
So we learned that, which was huge. And that is, I'm still, something prompted Delenn to go into this chrysalis, which was a part of fulfilling a prophecy that she just sort of said, I'm going to now make it about me.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be pointing towards me, so I'm just going to make it about me. And she went through some sort of change that makes her literally part Minbari, part human.
Yeah, because the prophecy, right, was that the two sides or something, the two sides of the Minbari, the darkness and the light, I think even were need to come together. And she personally interpreted that as a physical manifestation and decided that she was going to do it. I was actually thinking, because early on, she was so self-righteous about that change, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked her, like, hey, so clearly you're different. What's going on? Oh, I'm doing this thing with the blessing of my government.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, dude, they threw you out of this isn't the blessing. But then I thought about it. At the time, she was a Satai. She was part of the government, and she did it with her own blessing. So technically, she had the blessing of the government. And they didn't
forbid her from doing it.
Exactly.
They didn't forbid her. They just said, we'd rather you wait. I'm like, oh, well, you did it anyway. Well, and dude from the Great Council came over and was like, hey, here's this thing you're going to need in order to do it.
Yeah, gave it to her.
I don't know how much more you could interpret that as being with the, I guess there's a difference between with the blessing and just not being forbade.
Mm-hmm. Well, so years and years ago, in front of our state legislature, I applied for a grant, a couple $1 million to do some cool stuff. And you have to go in front of the legislature, get the okay to do it. And there were some policy implications. And so the committee voted to not make a decision. Like, their decision was, we're not going to tell you yes or no. We're just going to say we're not making a decision. And when I was walking from the Capitol building to my car, the chair of the committee called me and he said, do it. And then come back in the next session and ask for a retro. He says, I'll write you a letter so you can bring it and blah, blah, blah. So I feel like it's that thing where it's like, we're not going to tell you yes or no, but we're also going to give you all the tools to do it. And just kind of look over here. Mm-hmm. Also, we're going to fire you. There's that.
Right.
We are going to fire you, but we're going to let you still be an ambassador.
Right.
We're going to let you hang on there. And I think that, to kind of pivot real quick, I think says a lot too about the status of Babylon 5 from season 1 to season 2, where I think the Minbari were like, yeah, I mean, you're kind of ostracized. You're not on the Great Council. We're not going to include you in our reindeer games anymore. But you can still be the ambassador over at that place that's not so important to us anymore, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Well, and definitely not, because with the ousting of Delenn from the Great Council, they have now brought in Naroon, of all people. That could have been anybody. It didn't have to be Naroon, They could have brought in anybody to do that, but they did bring in Naroon, and that tipped the balance of power of the Great Council, because we also learned there's a worker class.
Yeah, apparently.
As well, which, okay, cool. But it tipped the balance of power with the Great Council. And so what we now see is we have just taking stock of the various governments. Dral came in and said, I don't recognize Minbar anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And now the balance is tipped on the Minbari. And you're right. They're kind of almost hands-offing Babylon 5. Who knows what's really happening on Minbar right now? You've got Earth, where they just assassinated their own president and installed their own dude. And something's going on with Psycor out there, and they're all whatever. And there's now this Ministry of Peace, which has come in, which may be an extension of Home Guard or some other deal. We haven't really heard Home Guard in a while. You've got the Centauri, who are just going crazy with their imperialist plans and recapturing Narn, and Narn's fallen to the Centauri, and the Vorlon are still just out there being the Vorlon, being the big old jerks waiting around,
just watching. Oh, look at
just
this.
letting things happen. That's an interesting kind of sort of state. Did I sum that up with where we are politically in the world right now?
And I think the only other piece to add is that an entire species, the Marcab, are gone.
Gone. Yeah. Yeah. Though, speaking of other species, we did get the very cool Drazi fight.
We did.
Green, purple, green, like the whole, which I was going back reading some of those comments that I missed when the episode first came out. And they were like, that was JMS's like stab at political stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like the red, blue. Oh, exactly. I'm just red, blue.
Uh-huh.
And there is this one scene in that episode when if I remember it right, Delenn like takes a purple sash off of one of them and puts it on one of the green guys. And like people just stood around and went, what's, and then they just attacked the dude that was like their guy.
Totally
like,
off the top rope. Yeah. Get him.
And like he didn't even do anything. She just put it on him. And I was like, oh, that's so perfect.
It's
that's
that blinded,
so perfect.
That blind adherence to a color or a cloth or a rag or a, in his,
and you literally just pulled it out of a barrel. Like that's actually the only thing. And we do this every 5 years and it lasts for a whole year. Like we do this every 4 years and it seems to last for 2.
Right. Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
But even that, like it lasts for a whole year, but it actually only lasted for 1 episode. We saw Drazi throughout the entire season.
And nothing was happening with
him, and
right?
that we learned, I think one thing we learned from season 1 to season 2, just logistically about Babylon 5 is each season is a calendar year.
Oh, so, right. Yeah.
You know, they start early in the year, they end around Christmas time, Hanukkah time, New Year's Eve. And there were no Drazi wearing purple or green after that. So, I mean, the way I read that, because Ivanova's solution was to make everybody purple. You know, we're going to go down to the quartermaster. We're going to get everybody a purple sash. This thing's taken care of.
Really?
Which, you know, and so Ivanova's solution, based on JMS's, kind of read on this, was to go to a one-party rule system. But which also lines up with the Ministry of Peace popping in and the stuff going on Earth. But yeah, we should have seen people wearing green sashes the whole year. So. Missed opportunity.
Right. So, but overall, okay. And then we learned a lot about the shadows. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that was honestly the big reveal. Well, before we do that, let's talk about there's Psy-Corps.
Yeah.
Stuff going on at home, because that's been a big deal. So we know Psy-Corps is more and more involved. They're hunting down these telepaths. They're trying to breed them, which we actually learned in season 1, but it really came to light here in season 2. They're trying to breed them to get higher and higher telepaths.
Yeah, they're doing eugenics. They're doing genetic modifications, like with Jason Ironheart. Yeah. They're really trying to create that perfect telepath, telekinetic thing.
Yeah, for whatever purpose, you can only assume galactic domination, or
what other purpose is there?
I don't know, right? Like, so they're trying to do that. And there is an underground railroad movement that was centered on Babylon 5, but is now apparently somebody else is taking up the banner, and it's happening somewhere else now.
It's still happening though. I think that's, and they used it, right? They used it after it got taken down, so they still have access to it. Mm-hmm. But it's moved away from Franklin and from Babylon 5.
Right. Franklin's still a jerk, by the way.
Yeah. Franklin is now more, he is more the worst than he was. Like, if people would describe Babylon 5 as a roller coaster, and so far Franklin is just a downward, not an exciting downward slide, but a very wildly disappointing one.
I feel like there was one episode where, like, for half the episode he got a little bump. I was like, okay, I'm actually kind of with him, and there he goes again.
Yeah, Confessions and Lamentations. Like, I remember saying, like, this is such a horrible reflection of humanity that I'm on Franklin's side.
Right.
That's how far you've pushed me.
Right. Until he went to, like, that. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because it was, that was the one about the plague, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And, it's like, I think in my little name tag, I said Franklin was right.
Yep.
But it was still very much it's my way or the highway. There's no consensus here. In that particular situation, it was correct. But overall. Anyway, so they're trying to breed them. There's the Underground Railroad, but the bigger thing is San Diego is just a big ball of dust, and underneath San Diego is Section 13.
Bureau 13.
You're
melding the two.
I am. Bureau 13, which has an AI called Control.
We're
and they
assuming
have-
an AI. We're assuming it's an AI.
True. Ooh, wait. In my head, it was just an AI. That's just an assumption.
That was what it was in my head up until Talia went bad and had the thing unlocking her, and Lita Alexander told us that it was codenamed Control.
Oh.
Maybe it is an AI within her
Yeah.
head. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think in
think
my
we
head,
have a
it's
lot-
still an AI.
We have a lot more to learn about Control.
We do. And there's apparently 13 agents, one of which came to Babylon 5, and he blew himself. He glitched effectively. And we suspect Talia might also have been another agent. Do we suspect that the other 11 might also still be on Babylon 5?
That's my suspicion.
That's because I seem to remember that, like, there's 13 of them on Babylon 5, which is just for a place that doesn't have that big of a purpose, like to throw all those people at Babylon 5, it just seems very weird. But
Well, I think for Earth, because they're all from Psychor, this is all an Earth directed thing. For Earth, that's the doorway to the galaxy. If I'm the Centauri, if I'm the Minbari or something, or something, I've got access to everything. Like I've got all. But Earth is the one who is the little kid on the block who beat the Dilgar, kind of made a name for themselves, and then almost got destroyed. And then has been kind of rebuilding itself up. And Psychor sees this opportunity. The president sees this opportunity, whatever that whole government mechanism is to be it. But they need Babylon 5 as like the staging area, essentially, to do that.
you know what it reminds me of as you describe it like that? I don't know if you know who this is going to be. Logan Paul.
Oh, yeah. He wrestled. He wrestled at a WWE event too long ago. It was actually incredible.
Right. No, but so like apparently this guy was just like a YouTuber with a big mouth, and like he got pretty big and caught some attention, and like he wound up getting in WWE, and like him and his brother are like just big like they're out boxing stuff, but they're not like classically trained boxers, but they're going up and tearing up people, So and they're like, you can almost describe it like that. Like, yeah, it's this guy who's coming in that nobody expected, and all of a sudden they're tearing everybody a new one, but
he did that.
The new kid on the block and not really part of it.
He did a fight, I think, at UFC, and I thought it was ridiculous and whatever. But then they hyped him for, I think it was him and Roman Reigns with WWE, and I was just insulted. Like, I'm like, this is a David Arquette and WCW thing all over again. Oh my God. And then they went out and probably put on like one of the best matches of the year. Like, he showed such an understanding of the sport, and he twisted his knee, like dislocated it or something, had some really bad knee damage, and just had
in the match.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? People look, pro wrestling, people call it fake. There are many orthopedic surgeons out there that would never use that word. I have that orthopedic surgeon because that happened to me when I was doing it.
Right.
But there's this iconic shot of him leaping off the top rope coming into Roman Reigns. It's beautiful, amazing looking shot. Yeah. But he did it with like a damaged knee. The guy's the real, I hate to say it.
Yeah.
He's a real deal.
Well, so is Earth, Jeff.
Exactly.
So is Earth.
And I hate to say that as well. I mean, that's the thing too, where I think we left season 1. I don't want to say we ever felt good about Earth, because at the end of season 1, we knew that they killed the president. We could piece that together, but we still felt like Earth, we're Earth, and Earth, that's gone. That is gone. Right.
So, but with that though, in the midst of Psychor, and we know that Psychor is somehow in bed with the new Earth government and this Ministry of Peace, which I want to flesh that out in just a second. But there is also a small band that is military based of people that are basically creating their own resistance movement.
Mm-hmm.
And Sheridan and Garibaldi and Ivanova are a part of it. And they were going to bring in Talia till she went crazy.
Dodged that one.
Right.
Yeah.
Franklin's a part of it, using his Underground Railroad connections.
Mm-hmm. But General
actively,
Haig leads that, right? Yeah.
Right. And they're actively working against this new government thing.
But we saw how dangerous that is in the end episode, where as part of the Ministry of Peace, they have that Night Watch. Yeah. The Night Watch is already tattled on Sheridan very publicly in a way that I mean, caused Babylon 5 to get damaged, to have that big strut, thing get blasted off of it. But yeah, you're right. I think that we had a couple episodes where, at least one, where Haig sent people to Babylon 5 to, give Sheridan some information, to ask for some information. So like they're actively at least spreading. That was the Hunter Prey, right, episode where the doctor fled the president's entourage. And so they were able to lean on them as a resistance group. It's not the only resistance group, though. We've got Jakar and the Narn building a resistance group. So there's really this overarching story of massive powers in the Centauri and the Earth Force government. Yep. And then these real small, really focused, really skilled resistance movements forming to fight guerrilla wars or whatever they need to do against them.
It's amazing to me that Londo is still allowed to be on Babylon 5. Although I guess it occurs to me that in the real world, just because one nation goes again, declares war on another nation, as we have recently seen, that nation isn't kicked out of the United Nations.
Exactly.
Like you still have to have that ambassador there. Now, whether or not they show up, whether or not they take an active part, that's up to them. But
in theory, that's where peace could get brokered. That's where the conversations could occur. And that was the intent, I think, of Babylon 5, was to avoid war, but in the face of war, to have a neutral place in which to parlay, and figure their stuff out. But the Narn are no longer on the council. That's a big thing. Jakar lost his seat because he's now technically a citizen of the Centauri Republic.
Do you think it was too early for Ivanova to declare that Babylon 5 being the last best hope for peace is a failure?
Oh, 100%.
I think that actually might be too early. Like, it's not this is what you're here for, like, to work through this, right? Like, not to necessarily just prevent it, although you want to prevent it if you can, but like, this is a part of it, that when it does happen, you've got to work through it. Like, and I don't know that you call the last best hope for peace a failure when you have this unknown outside entity coming in to influence everything, so
when they're still actively working for peace. The Fall of Night ended with like a montage of scenes with Ivanova doing a voiceover. It was really well done.
Yeah.
And one of the montage scenes was the council meeting with the League of Non-Aligned Worlds and the council, and Londo, beating his fist and yelling and screaming. What that told me is they're still trying. They're still meeting. They're still talking. Right. So to me, like, to say that we're done with peace and we're going for victory, then why is Londo on the station? Why is there a council anymore?
Right. So let's talk about Londo. The Centauri have lost their ever-loving minds, or just gone back to who they really are.
Yeah.
Londo has gone full irredeemable bad guy. No matter how much remorse he feels, he is irredeemable. Like, the only thing he can do, I think, to redeem himself is to go stab the shadow leader guy in the stomach. And even that's not redeeming himself. That just kind of helps a little bit. Like,
it's literally the Darth Vader story, right? He was Anakin where he was the fun-loving guy who had an edge to him, who had questions about himself. Then he walked in with a lightsaber and murdered a whole bunch of kids, and then he fell to the dark side and has to wear a breather suit. Now he's going off and doing terrible things. It's going to take something to the level of the Emperor trying to kill Luke, and him watching and him doing the math, and then taking that lightning on himself. He's going to have. That's the only redemption for Londo.
But does that doesn't absolve him, though? Like, and that might be the thing. Londo might be able to be redeemed, but he's not going to be able to be absolved.
I don't know.
I might be using the wrong words.
Well, I think that brings up a thing we talked about back in the first season, and that's the difference between justice and revenge or vengeance. Like, what does absolution, what does reconciliation look like? How do you rebalance those scales? Is his death going to do that? Is him giving everything up going to be enough to do that? I don't know. At least now millions of people have died, but according to the techno mages, it will be billions that will die.
That was something. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. So the shadows are fully aligned with the Centauri.
Yeah.
Shadows are basically handing the Centauri these victories. For the most part, though, it still seems like the Centauri are the ones going out doing the stuff. It's just the shadows are like taking care of the heavy work.
Yeah, I feel like the shadows go in, blast it, Centauri walk in, mop up, occupy the thing, and set up their infrastructure and their government.
And they're trying to kill they have a shadow emperor right now who
Cartagia.
Is that his name?
I think it's Cartagia or Cartagia or something.
Right. There's Rifa, who is no good.
He's the real. He's the puppet master right now for the Centauri government.
Right. Londo wants to be the emperor, though. I remember that. I don't remember if that was something from season 1 or if that was something in this season. But it was like Rifa and Londo were talking. Did we meet Rifa in season 1?
No, we met him in season 2.
Okay,
we met him,
so
I think when it was when we met the Techno Mages, because that's when Londo wanted to get their blessing.
Oh, that's I should have remembered that because I just rewatched that episode. Anyway,
it's a good episode. I mean, it's funny, we don't have a high up, but like now looking back, and we'll get to this when we talk about rankings, but it's like, oh my god, this was
there's
great.
so much. Though it rewrote and we'll talk about that overall for the season. But Londo's like, hey, I think we got a lot of work to do, and Rifa's like, you gonna be the new emperor, right? We're gonna set you up, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna. So Londo wants to be this emperor. I don't know if he still does or not. I think he does.
Well,
Londo
he and
still
Veer
wants
had
Centauri to do their thing.
Yeah, he wants a Centauri to be high and mighty. He said he wanted to be emperor, but then he and Veer had that conversation. I think it was in the Coming of Shadows that they had the conversation where Veer was like, why didn't you go to the royal court? Like, you go to the royal court, you get seen, that's the fastest path to emperor. And Londo was like, I don't think I want all that anymore. Like, that's where he started having the doubts that he worked through, pushed into full evil. And I think to your point, I don't think he has doubts anymore. He even had a vision, right? Yeah. He had the vision that has him as emperor, alone and old and coughing. Yeah, sick.
Yeah. And Jakar has that gnarly scar down his face.
And I think that the season ended with a little hint in the council chamber with him coughing, right? That's the path he's on. I would be, well, I'll get to this at the end, but I think there is an ambassador Londo or an emperor Londo in our future.
I don't disagree. I don't think that Babylon 5 is TNG or Voyager, where people don't get promoted or change levels just to stay in the show. Like, you can promote people, you can change them and still have them in the show, Star Trek.
It's okay. Look at Ivanova. Like, they did it.
Right. And you know what? You don't have to promote everybody beyond what their actual rank should be, Discovery.
Right.
Okay. So that's kind of what we know so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's really
and we saw Kosh. That's the other thing we saw.
Right.
We saw got Kosh.
There's the first ones. The shadows are older than the first / ancient ones. They fought. Then most of them went off. A few of them stayed behind, the Vorlon being some of them who stayed behind.
Mm-hmm.
Then 1,000 years ago, they fought again. And Jaquan was a part of that group. Right.
We believe.
Yeah. Right. And then now it's been 1,000 years and the Vorlon have just been hanging around waiting, I guess.
While the shadows have been coming to Zahadum, they're woken up and we got that the Long Dark, right, to talk about how they're traveling from all across the galaxy to come together at Zahadum.
Right. And then we also know that the dude down on the planet, Drawl, is entering the game and he's shouting out Zathras, and we still have Babylon 4 and Zathras and that whole thing that we're not entirely sure, although I have a prediction of what I think it is. Okay. That's flashing around out there somewhere, and hopefully we'll come back to that at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff. So with that's what we know so far. Let's talk about the season as a whole, because we're really talking about the season. Give me an overall impression of your season. Like just in a statement, wrap up your thoughts on season 2.
I think I have to talk about season 1 to talk about season 2 a little bit. It's because season 1 introduced us to the world. It introduced us to the characters. It kind of gave us the political landscape. I was going to say the rules of the game, but frankly, I think we're still learning. I think we're still learning the rules of the game. And then season 2, I think, was the first time we're like, okay, now we have a real story. We have a real story to tell you. We dropped a few nuggets along the way, and here we go. Season 1 was wildly inconsistent, where the bad episodes were bad episodes, and the great episodes, the handful that there were great. In season 2, overall, and I think we talked about this when we started recording, a lot of it really runs together for me because one, it feels like it's more of a contiguous story, but also the lows weren't as low. Most of the highs weren't as high. There were some super high. There was like at least one mega high one in this season. But as a whole, it just kind of felt necessary and okay, but not nearly as exciting as I was hoping it would be. If that makes sense. What about you? Like overall, what did you think?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the exact same illustration that you just used, but I'm going to flip it.
Okay.
Okay. For me, season 1, and this may just be, I have an expectation of sci-fi in the 90s for season 1, and it's really low across the board. Season 1 sci-fi, particularly in the 90s, is not good. So approaching season 1 with that, I just sort of stayed with that. And to me, that whole season was just sort of, the whole season was kind of mediocre. Like, it was good. It was enough to get me in the show. Like, I'm going to watch this thing, which I guess served the purpose. I understand that it was world building. I understand that it was that the producers and the writers and everybody's still trying to figure everything out, even though JMS had it all in his head. Right. I get that. You're right. There were some really bad episodes. There were some really good episodes, but the curve between good and bad wasn't that large to me.
Okay.
Like there was some not really good episodes, but even the really good episodes weren't that good. Right. Whereas for season 2 with me, the episodes that I think back that I did not like, that I did not understand, were really low. And I'm like, this isn't even season 1 level quality. This is just ugh. But the episodes that were really good blew season 1 out of the water, were amazing. So that curve, and maybe I just had higher expectations. It really could come back to that. I just had higher expectations of season 2 than I did season 1. Mostly because y'all out there
seriously
were saying, "Oh, just so it begins." But
the bar
all
was
up here from here.
It was impossibly high, high.
Right. The other thing that I think I have come to understand is that on a rewatch. Now, this is our first watch, and we've talked about this over the last couple of episodes. It feels like you and I are in a first watch. We don't know what happens. We don't know where things go from here. I don't necessarily remember everything that we've had so far. And I've even seen like some people in comments, oh, but remember in this episode, they said this, and this episode, they said this. And if you put this together and this together, this together, and all mixed together, I'm like, you can't catch that on your first watch.
No, not at all.
Right. And my guess is that on a rewatch, season 2 is actually a whole lot better than what I remember it as sitting here right now, just having done a first watch. And we've referenced the episode a few times already, Geometry of Shadows. I just had to rewatch that episode. Had to. I rewatched that episode just cause, and I'm watching this episode and we ranked it rather low. Like we liked the techno mages, but overall it was just like what is this episode? What's going on? Who are why didn't they come back? They sounded really cool. The rest of the episode, the whole purple, green, drowsy stuff, like it was whatever. Like, but all of a sudden I'm watching this episode, and now that I know what I know, it's clear to me, or at least this is what I think right now, the techno mages were leaving. Like the way that the first ones left, they were gathering at Babylon 5, and then they were going off to Avalon or wherever it is that you go when you ascend. Yeah, and he said, he's like, there's this coming darkness. We have this skill and this knowledge set, and we're not about to let it get destroyed. So we're leaving. We're saying these are like the elves leaving Middle Earth. Like, bye guys, we're out. We're peacing out. Like that's what they were doing in that episode. Not probably a group that we're going to see again. They were just leaving. But there's also this conversation between the chief technomage and Elron.
Yep.
I'll call him Addryc. Actually, I think was his name.
It was Addryc.
Yeah, it was Addryc.
Right. Yeah. JMS's D&D name.
But there's a conversation at the end between him and Londo where he's basically like, dude, you are bad. You're going to be the bad guy. Millions of people are going to die because of you, and there's no redeeming you. There's no way I understood that when I watched that in episode 3 of this season. But looking back after everything that's happened 22 episodes later, I'm like, oh my gosh, he just told you what was going to happen.
Yeah, here's the whole season for you.
And I've got to believe that episode, had we understood it in that light, would have been way higher.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you and I really hated that episode, The Long Dark.
Yeah.
Like, we wanted to pitch it, kick it, throw it, ball it up, pretend like it never happened. My guess is, on a rewatch, there's stuff there that we just don't even realize. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it just really is a bad episode. I don't know. But I think overall with season 2, this thing that feels like this wildly low and high, this curve, is actually a lot better than what we may know on a first watch.
It reminds me a lot of season 1 of Discovery, right? That when you're watching the first season of Star Trek Discovery, it's kind of like, what? Okay. Oh, I guess they're spoilers. If anyone I guess they're in the mirror universe. Oh, okay, great, whatever. But then when you watch it again, it's brilliant. Like, they're planting seeds in the 3rd episode, because the first 2 were kind of weird. Mm-hmm. But in the 3rd episode, they are planting these seeds where you're just like, of course it was the mirror universe. Like, it was there all along. But you don't get that until a rewatch. And I think that this is actually, just through you talking about, I mean, specifically Geometry of Shadows, but I'm sure there's other ones. Revelations, even, where they did mention Zahadum.
No, they didn't. They didn't. They did not.
But
did not.
All of those things, I feel like this is like Discovery was Star Trek trying to do what Babylon 5 did in the second. I'll say in the second season. I don't know if it's more because we don't know, but that's kind of what that was. So I think, Brent, we've talked about the season a little bit. We've already started talking about some episodes, and over the course of our look at the season, we developed the definitive, objectively correct ranking of all the episodes in the second season.
Yeah.
It's so definitive, in fact, that I think we should go back and look at it and see if we want to move anything around.
Can we do it in a game?
I do love our games.
We like our games. Can we do it as a game?
Yeah, let's do it. What do you got in mind?
Okay. Do you ever like get to Christmas time and you do like white elephant gift exchanges?
Yeah, like, here, this is for you. You can give it, you can steal it, you can trade it, kind of stuff.
Yeah. So here's what I think we do. I think we go through the episodes, and we can take turns. Okay. And we'll start at the top, start at the bottom. I don't care which one, and say, okay, does this actually belong here? Do you want to move it? Okay. And if you want to move it, like, you get to be the one to call it, or you can pass. You say, no, I'm going to pass. I'm going to leave it right here. Or if you move it, that's fine. But we each get, let's just say 3. We like our rule of 3 here, right?
It's a good rule.
You get 3 steals, and you can swoop in and grab that episode and move it to a different spot. Now, understand, as we continue to move episodes, that spot may get moved up or down. But once you, like in a gift, like a white elephant, once you steal a gift, it can't be stolen a second time.
Mm-hmm.
So if it gets stolen and put somewhere else, you can't move it after that. Like, you just got to live with it. But this gives us a chance to re-rank it, maybe readjust, but we can play a little game with it and see how it goes. What do you think?
Let's do it. I think I'm going to open up a little note here so we can keep track of what we do.
Okay.
That's probably a good idea, right?
All right. We're going to go from the top or from the bottom. What do you think?
I think we go from the bottom.
Okay.
And then work our way up from there.
All right. Well, Jeff, I will let you go first.
Oh,
so you get to pass or move, and we'll start with The Long Dark. Now, you said you had like a little blurb of what each episode was about, right?
Sort of. Yeah.
Can you read that just to honestly help me remember, and the folks at home playing along with us? This is our one chance, by the way, to update the 100% absolutely correct definitive ranking of season 2 of Babylon
right. The
5.
unmutable, unchangeable list. We need to just make sure it's correct. That's all.
Yes. After today, like this is locked in, set in stone. Grab the tablets and the chisel, because this is it.
This is it. So The Long Dark was the episode with Dwight Schultz as Amos, who and then the other ship, I forget what it's called, but the ship came on board that had the husband wife that was doing.
Oh, and Franklin was wildly inappropriate with her.
Yeah. Totally hit on the wife, and then one of what we learned or meant to believe is one of the shadows had been traveling with that ship to get to Zahadum, but ate the dude. And then was snacking on.
Is that
Barclay.
what it was? It was a shadow that was traveling?
Or one of the shadows?
Oh.
I think that's what we're supposed to believe. Like,
so do the shadows like just live out in various spots and they're being called home?
So that's the impression. That's totally. So when what that episode did, so it ended with Jakar looking at the book of Jaquan, and it had the drawing of the creature that we sort of saw, because the effects were sort of sea effects.
Yeah.
But they talked about, it's picking up its path to Zahadum, and then in the shadows of Zahadum, when they were telling the whole story of the first ones, they said they're calling all the shadows back and returning to Zahadum to do this thing.
I missed that. That's kind of weird and really kind of chilling to think that their shadows are just out there existing in weird places.
Yeah.
Ugh. Okay.
So to me, what this episode told us is that there are shadows out there, and they're coming through, and it confirmed, it gave us that little nugget that Jaquan was around during the last fight with the shadows, because he had the book. But I got to be really honest with you, Brent. Like, those are cool nuggets or whatever. I didn't need them for the big giveaway in the shadow of Zahadum, and the Franklin stuff in this was unforgivably bad. This I think I want to keep this one at 22.
So you're passing.
I am passing on this one.
I'm not going to use a steal on this one, but just remember, along with going up, we can also go down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
it can't change.
I will just say, I don't know that this necessarily, and this will depend on how we discuss the other episodes, I don't know that this necessarily deserves a 22, a bottom of the barrel, although the Franklin stuff was just cringe.
Yep.
Dwight Schultz is always amazing. But with that understanding now of what was happening, this actually may be cooler. So it may get pushed up just because other things drop lower.
Correct.
But with that, so I'm going to leave it there. So we're going to leave it at 22 for right now. Okay. A distant star, Jeff. What was a distant star?
A distant star was the episode where the what was that explorer ship that came through? The old buddy of Sheridan's came to visit.
Oh, with like Swamp Rat or whatever is himself, and
they ended up in hyperspace. Kefir saw became the Zeta Wing commander. And
I got it. I am going to move this one. I'm moving this one to 22. This one was worse than the Long Dark. The Long Dark at least got kind of cool. Shadows existing in hyperspace is just stupid to me. Like, I know that may be the rule of this world, and people out there may not like me, because remember, we turned heel in this season.
We did. Yep.
You and I personally took a heel turn. Babylon 5 sucks. No, it doesn't. Somebody's going to clip just that.
I know. You just killed this podcast.
Oh my gosh. Babylon 5 does not suck, people. We are quite enjoying it. But I'm moving it down.
And I'm not going to steal that.
All right. Revelations. That one, I can take this one. That was the season 2 wrap up. Jakar comes back to the station from being gone, and we get Sheridan and his sister, and Sheridan's crying over his wife. And I got into a lot of trouble during that episode for a comment that I made, which I'm not going to make again here. Jeff, you going to leave this one up there?
This should be like because the seeds, like, this introduced us to Zahadum. We had the Anna thing that then paid off in the shadow of Zahadum, where Sheridan,
you think is going to pay off even more when she comes back, because she's not going to,
because she's Morden. She's a Morden out there doing stuff.
Right.
So the story beats in this are huge. I think, and it did a lot. It did a whole lot to like give us stuff to connect with for Sheridan. But Brent, this was not a good episode. This was hard to watch, and it was a slog.
Yeah.
Do I move it? But this isn't just about how good the episodes are. You know, it's also has something to do with how important they are. Oh, I am really tempted to move this one up, but I also have a strong temptation to leave it where it is because it's a bad episode. Although I am going to lean on how Anna is a Morden and she's working for the Shadows, and we're going to see her again coming up. I am going to move this up, and I'm going to move it up above Gropos, which we have at number 16 right now. So I'm going to make Revelations move from number 20 to number 16.
Here's a question. When using a steal, does it have to be on that particular episode, or can we go back and steal a former episode?
I think we can do whatever we want.
Okay, we can steal for. Okay, I'm gonna let it sit there for now. I may come back and steal that one though, just so you know.
Okay.
And really piss you off about it, but that's okay. But I need to wait to see what some of these others are.
That's fair. That's fair.
All right. Next episode then. You said you're moving this up to Gropos?
Yeah,
above
number
Gropos?
16. Above Gropos will be the new number 16. And I like Gropos. Yeah. I'm putting I'm putting a lot of stake in the Anna payoff. Like that's how pot committed I am.
Right. But we don't know that yet though.
We don't, but I'm an optimist. I am an optimistic person.
Yeah.
And I'm an optimistic person about a very dark and pessimistic show.
All right. So now for a word, I remember that one too. That's the one where that was an incredibly creative and well put together episode. That was a clip show without being a clip show.
It's brilliant.
Do I get to do this one, or is this you?
This is you.
This is me. But we have it way down at 19. I liked this episode. It was nothing that I needed at all. So should I drop it down? I'm going to drop it. I'm going to move it. It's still above A Distant Star because I would watch this one before I would watch Swamp Rat again. But, you talk about the importance of Anna, the importance of that shadow bit moving through, because that actually reframes that episode in my mind now. And Dwight Schultz is even as cringy as Steven.
Dwight Schultz.
No. Franklin.
Oh yeah.
Even as cringy as Franklin is and how highly inappropriate he is, that love story was secondary to what was actually talking about. So yeah, I'm gonna move it down below Long Dark.
Wow, to number 21.
21, yeah.
When I was looking at this list, this is one that I was thinking about moving up.
And now for a word.
Yeah, just because, and you're right, from a story beat standpoint, it did nothing.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was if you haven't watched till this point, here's everything you need to know. Now let's go forward, right?
Really quick, as a YouTube note, I am about to change cameras because I'm getting an overheat warning. So give me a second here.
Why do you have a camera overheating?
I don't know. This thing isn't supposed to act like that.
Do you have a light right behind it that's shining on it or something?
No. I have a softbox over there. I don't know why it does that. My wife, when she was using this one, said, and doesn't even feel warm, but a little warning thing comes up. So that's fine. I'll give it a little break.
Okay.
Makes me look big time having multi-camera shoot. So, okay. It didn't do it, but I think just the brilliance of how this episode was done. I mean, this, like we talked about in our recap on this one, how we talked about in our discussion on this one, just like how other shows happened because of this show.
Yeah.
But then I have to look at what's on here, and I think that I am going to let it stay because I think the other episodes have more meat to them. I mean, it's great, and so here I am publicly acknowledging. Here's the asterisk. It's a brilliant episode. It's genius. It was so well done. Could have never aired, and everything would have been the same. Like it was nothing.
That is my reasoning for put it down, but I can't put it below Captain Swamp Rat.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, all that one did was set up Kefir getting killed, really, in the long run of things, and told us that shadows use hyperspace to move. Oh,
big deal.
Ooh,
Yeah.
how
All right.
close.
Acts of sacrifice, Jeff.
I get to do this one. So this was the one with the Lumati, where Ivanova had to bring the Lumati in, show them the stuff, and then they walked down below, and they saw how horrible humanity is to people that are poor and homeless, and they said, "Yeah, we love you. You're great. That's awesome." There was also some movement in the Narn Centauri War where Sheridan and Delenn agreed to move injured Narn and give food and supplies to them kind of under the table. We have this currently at number 18. I need to look and see what this other one.
YouTube, you're catching all the behind the scenes work that goes in. Jeff's going to edit this for the podcast. You guys get the unedited version.
It's going to be super tight. Super tight. There's a lot in Acts of Sacrifice to not like. You brought up the great point of just the situation that Ivanova was put into and how that worked and how she kind of tried to work her way out of it, but how awful that was. Also, the war stuff was, I mean, it was okay. I don't think we were high on this one. I'm really arguing with myself over something that's not important where I'd want to put it. I think I'm just going to leave this one at number 18.
Okay. I am not going to use a steal on that one. I'll let it stay right there.
All right.
I'll let it stay right there. All right. And There Lies All the Honor comes in with number 17. No, wait, I'm sorry. There Lies All the Honor at 19. I'm sorry, 18.
It should be at 17.
Okay.
Oh, because you're moving stuff in real time. So I have the static list that we had in this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm moving it in real time. That's because we moved up. We moved up an episode.
To remind you of what There All the Honor Lies is, I have a word from Ivanova.
I mean, we're not some deep space franchise. This station is about something.
It's the they took a shot at Deep Space Nine, and so this was the one about the store. That's all I remember. Is this the one where Sheridan was he killed somebody?
Yeah, he got mugged, and then
Ashan
from the third Fane of Chidomo tried to set. This is basically the third Fane trying to go and take Starkiller out of command.
Yeah, I remember Gropos. I think I like Gropos better than this one.
Wow,
maybe. Put them in a bag, shake them up. This is how they fall out. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna leave it right there. Jeff.
Okay. Write that down. Leaving it in its space. Okay, so that gives me Gropos.
There you go.
Gropos has a different look on it after the fall of night. In Gropos, they were moving 20,000. We met Dr. Franklin's dad, and then they were moving 20,000 Earth Force troops to that other planet that was closer and better staged in the Narn Centauri conflict, the war that was going on. And at the time, it just felt like they were getting ready to capitalize. Like, let's get in a spot so when this war is done, we might be able to swoop in and do some stuff. But after fall of night, they were there to help support the Centauri, possibly. Or, I mean, how long?
I didn't even think about that.
It's like, how long have these negotiations been going on to potentially ally with the Centauri? So I think, and then everyone died, right? Like, everybody died in this one. I think it's a pretty big deal in retrospect in terms of what Earth is willing to do, to advance its cause. So we bumped Gropos down in favor of what, Revelations?
We did.
So what I'm going to do with this one for Gropos that in our static list was at number 16. Oh, look at you. I like
Yeah.
that. And is currently at
Our
17.
YouTube folks are getting a thing here.
Yeah, I like that.
There we go. This way you guys can see the list as we go.
So the question I ask myself is, are the impacts of Gropos bigger than the revelations from Revelations? And I don't think they are. No. So I think I'm gonna leave Gropos there at number 17.
Yeah, Gropos I think is one of those episodes that could become a personal favorite for individual fans.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I really liked the Garibaldi and the girl, whatever
Dodger.
her name was. Dodger, yeah. I loved, this might be the only episode I liked Kefir. Because him bouncing off of the other two Gropos, like, they kind of stood off and then they became drinking buddies. And,
yeah.
you know, like that was fun to watch. You understood a little bit more about Franklin and his character and his motivations, but nothing, it didn't change my understanding of him. I think it just gave reasons for why things might be that way that I sort of suspected anyway.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
You know, so,
and even with the Kefir stuff, it was cool, but that could have been anybody. It didn't have to be Kefir. You know, it was really just to show.
Could have been Ivanova.
Yeah, it was just,
right?
well, I think it was meant to kind of show that brotherhood that happens when you're in the military or at war, and then the loss that occurs because of it. Like, to me, Gropos was all about saying war is real and war sucks.
Yeah. All right, so we have Gropos there. We've moved Revelations at 16, so we're going to pass over that one. We're now moving into 15, Geometry of Shadows, which we've just been discussing.
Mm-hmm.
This was the Techno Mage episode. And we also learned in this episode that Londo is going to be bad. That was foretold. And they're leaving, even though that's not what we understood was happening in that moment. And Techno Mages are awesome. Remember the monster that tried to attack Veer?
And how cool was Veer in this one? I am Veer Kato, attaché to Ambassador Londo Mollari. Like, he was just, I am strong and I am confident and I am not afraid of your fake things that I'm pretty afraid of.
Great.
And it had the Drazi stuff in it as well. It was Ivanova. This is when Ivanova got promoted, isn't it? This is where she became commander, and this was her first like diplomatic.
This was the one
mission.
Where she broke her leg. I know that.
Yeah.
You know, they wrote it into the show. She did in real life, and then they wrote it into the show. So
it's cool.
Is this mine or yours?
This is yours.
Oh, I'm totally moving this up, but where do I move it up to? This is an episode that upon a rewatch, I got a way new appreciation for. And I don't know if this is right or not, but I'm seeing soulmates right there. And I remember liking soulmates. I'm going to move this up above soulmates. Because I think soulmates might actually need to come down later.
Make it the new number 11.
I'm going to make it the number 11. Yeah, because I think this episode meant a lot more on a rewatch than what we understood at the time.
This is the first time I'm strongly considering a steal. And if I do, I'm going to move it higher.
Okay. Because
I think, Brent, it's so brilliant because it literally, there was a comment way back, and I'm going to get it wrong, but it had something to do, like, the concept of Chekhov's gun. You know, like if you're going to shoot someone in the fourth act, you have to show the gun in the second act. You know, kind of
right.
Like, here it is. Somebody described the second season as Chekhov's gun cabinet. Like, here's everything. Huh. And that's what happened when Addryc was talking to Londo at the end. He literally spelled out the entire season. He said everything that was going to happen. And in the moment, it was just like, oh, okay, he's creepy Michael and Sarah being awesome, but whatever. Like, okay. And then on a rewatch, like, holy crud, this is so brilliant. The reason I'm feeling I'm not going to steal is because the Drazi thing was interesting, kind of fun, kind of cool, but also I think it dragged the episode down ultimately. You had this at 11?
I put it up at 11. You going to steal it and move it?
No, I'll leave it there.
Oh, I was really hoping you would, actually.
I'm really close to it, but I mean, and I got to quote Rush. I got to quote Rush for the Drazi thing, but I think there are other ones that belong in the top 10.
Okay. Well, moving on then, our new number 15 is Comes the Inquisitor, penultimate episode of the season. And this one is yours, Jeff.
It is.
And you and I are wildly different on our enjoyment of this episode, I think. I really liked it. You were like,
Our conversation on this was really great. You really did open my eyes to see this one in a different way than I had seen it before. But Brent, it's just not a good episode. It's just so slow. And I think really what kills it for me is the fact they had this as the second to last. I mean, you should be going balls to the wall, and you stop for a Doctor Who ripoff who's got a cane instead of a screwdriver to come and mess with Delenn and Sheridan a little bit to tell us that I don't know. I have a deeper appreciation for it because of what you said, but I still just don't,
because it was the testing, not the
it was
the teaching, not a testing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is great. Yeah. That's awesome. But in my mind, the teaching was already happened. I am going to put this one. I'm going to move this one down right underneath They're All the Honor Lies, right underneath number 8, make it the new number 18.
I've already used a steal, haven't I?
No, you said you might later. So you still have all 3 of them.
I do, don't I? Okay. Ooh. See, now you got me wanting to steal. You said under there all the honor lies?
I would put it make it the new 18, basically, and move Honor, Gropos, and Revelations up. So I guess my key is I'm going to put it above Acts of Sacrifice is my key. So
yeah, I'm going to use my steal, and I'm going to steal this one. And I'm actually going to put it right back where it is right now. And I'm going to leave it right there.
At 15?
Because I need to talk to you about Spider in the Web, points of departure in these, and possibly it actually gets bumped up because some others might get moved back down. So I don't know, but I'm going to at least leave it there. So That's my steal. Comes the Inquisitor is locked. Cannot move it outside of shifting things up and down below it and above it.
What you might do on this next one that's yours. A Spider in the Web, which is the one with the Mars first guy who was the recipient of the Project Lazarus piece. We did learn about Bureau 13 in this episode, but the gist of it was Mars dude.
Yeah. And I think this one's going to go down for me because while as mind-blowing as Bureau 13 was, frankly, they've done nothing with it. Now, this might be when you get into season 3, season 4, and it comes back, and all of a sudden it's this bigger deal. But this episode, Jeff, could have easily been a season 1 episode, and you'd never know the difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We already knew Psychor was sketchy in the first season, so why not just show us they've got an underground thing going on?
Yeah, yeah. So for that, this one is going to drop way low. Jeff, are you ready for how low?
How low can you go?
I can go all the way to number 21.
Wow.
21. I would take a clip show without clips before watching this episode that belongs in season 1. The question is, are you going to steal it?
I'm not. I fully agree. The only thing I was ready to fight you on is if you put it above and now for a word, and you did not. And so there's no fight to be had.
All right. Next one is yours then, Jeff. So, wow, these are shifting quite a bit. We have Comes the Inquisitor, points of departure, our season 1 opener, or season 2 opener, Jeff. Season 2 opener. We get Sheridan. There's the he has to deal with was it a Minbari ship?
The Trigati.
Yeah. Trigati, that's right. So it was the introduction of Sheridan, effectively. And he's cool.
It was the introduction of Sheridan, and it was the answer to the Battle of the Line.
Oh yeah.
And so we have this one. Originally, we had this at we had it at number 1 for a very long time. And it landed here at number 12 for us.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, and currently,
with
now moves, it's now at 13.
I had a real fundamental problem, and I talked about it in the Points of Departure episode, but I had a real problem with the fact they just had Lanier talk for like 3 minutes to tell you all the stuff they built all of season 1. What happened to the missing 24 hours? Why did the Minbari surrender? What's happened? Well, here's why. I'm just going to stare at a camera and tell you why. And you're going to go, oh, it was huge revelation that, again, they haven't really done anything with. Okay, so there's Minbari souls in people, and Sinclair has one. That's literally all we know. Like, we have theories.
That's about the last we've heard of it, to be frank with you.
Yeah, that's it. And then the Sheridan stuff, right? And Sheridan's great. I'm gonna move this one down, and I think I'm gonna move it down quite a ways as well. I'm gonna put this one. I'm gonna put this one as the new number 19, just above And Now for a Word.
I'm not going to steal. I'm going to let it sit.
I feel like that's going to upset. I feel like that one's going to upset some people.
Yeah, probably. But I think you're right, because we got Sheridan. You had to introduce the new captain because of stuff that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Fully get it. Sheridan's cool. We learned that throughout the entire deal. But you're right. This thing, I was glad to get the answer. But they haven't really, like, we haven't met anybody else that's confirmed to have a Minbari soul.
Exactly. They haven't even brought it up.
Like, we should at least know a few. We saw Kosh the Angel, but we don't know anybody else who's got a Minbari soul.
Yeah.
Besides Sinclair. Like,
well, for our next one, and this is very apropos for you to get this one. You're a big fan of this episode for a long time and advocated for it. Brent, what about Soulmates?
Soulmates was fun. Soulmates was the episode with Londo getting divorced from his wives, and he winds up picking the shrewest of them all to stay. Right?
Yep. This was a fun episode.
It was a fun episode.
In a season that did not have a lot of fun.
No, and it was entirely inconsequential. It may come back later on as Londo continues his side. Maybe his wife is going to come back and slap some sense into him. You know what I mean? Or she's going to be the new empress.
Right. Maybe that's what she's angling for the whole time.
Yeah, I don't know. But she at least seems like, even if she is the new empress, like, she's not going to take any crap from anybody either. Like, she's just going to be it. So it's entirely inconsequential. It was fun. You know, another episode that we thought was well done. It was fun. It just got way lower because it was not that important. And Now for a Word.
It's true.
And I'm going to put this one above And Now for a Word. But do I like it more than I do Points of Departure that gives us that little bit? Did I like it more than The Long Dark, which gave us cringy Franklin, but also amazing?
Before you rank it, though, don't forget the B story in this one, which was Talia's ex-husband, where we learned about the eugenics program at Psy-Corps and Matthew Stoner, who's now an empath instead of just a telepath, and the other things. So there's some Psy-Corps stuff that happened in this one as well. Yeah,
but I still feel like that's mostly been inconsequential. Like, it came up again in A Race Through Dark Places, the Bester episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't need this one to understand what happened in the Bester episode. You know, like, so you can't even say that it set it up. It just introduced it, which I could have gotten it later. So I am actually going to put this one as our new number 19, below Points of Departure, above Now for a Word. I love the episode. It's just not that great. But I did like the episode a lot.
I'm going to steal. and I'm going to steal
Please make me happy and make it higher. But
I am going to make it higher.
Okay,
and I'm stealing based on what it adds to Londo and why it's such a bigger deal that he fell.
Okay.
Because he didn't just get to divorce his wives because they were psychos and he hated them. He got to divorce his wives because of a favor from the emperor, who he had fallen into very good graces with. Londo was playing both sides, right, to make sure he always came out on top, to the point he got this unprecedented gift. His wife was an incredible person with massive amounts of integrity. I mean, I think our whole Star Trek, our whole Delta rating was based almost on her and her alone. But the fact that he had such a close relationship with the Emperor, that he allowed this to happen, sets up the scene when in the Coming of Shadows, when he and Rifa are like waiting for the Emperor to die, and then the Emperor whispers this stuff at him, and he tells everybody, "Oh, it's cool, we did a great job." I think it added so much of an impact to that scene. It wasn't just fun. Like this added weight to the fall of Londo. So this was, where did we have this one?
We had it at 12.
Well, I'm going to steal, and I'm going to be petty, and I'm going to put it right above comes the Inquisitor.
You're going to do what I did. You're just going to put it back.
Yep. I'm going to work that bad boy where it belongs.
Fair enough. You know what? This is potentially my personal favorite episode. This is the TKO of season 2.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Although for different reasons, but I'm okay with that. I'm not going to argue with you on that at all. And I couldn't, because I can't move it now and all anyway. Next episode, Geometry of Shadows, we've already discussed and we have moved it. The episode above that, number 10, currently on our list, Knives. Jeff, Knives was the episode. Remind me.
This was Londo and his old childhood friend doing the sword fight.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I liked this episode.
And this was also the one where Sheridan got the download on Babylon 4. Because he got that weird time alien thing that was in the Marcab that then jumped over to him. And then he had to fly off to Babylon 4 to get rid of it. Or out to, what was that, Sector 13?
Yeah. All right, this is mine? No, this is yours.
This one's mine.
Yeah, this is yours.
And I think
what are you gonna do with Knives? We're in the top 10. Hey, we're in the good episodes now.
Right. We made it. Right. So this one to me, I'll tell you, I'm going to leave it right where it's at number 10. This was an important Londo episode, and I think it just reminded us of Babylon 4 to be like, hey, this will be a thing, reminder. So I'm going to keep this one at number 10. If I
could have an issue with this episode gave us so much hope for Londo because we've been calling for it for most of the season, the redemption of Londo Mollari, right? It gave us so much hope that has just turned out to be dashed upon the rocks. So where he's now, you and I have said both times, he's irredeemable at this point.
But I think that's the important part, where just like I talked about in Soulmates, where it showed that he cared about the old emperor and it hit him in a personal way, this showed there was still that hope, that glimmer. And so when he fell, it made his fall. That scene, of him staring out the window just became that much more powerful because of stuff like in Knives.
Yeah. It's a good episode. Really good episode. All right. Next episode, Hunter Prey. This is the one with Socrates.
Yep.
Dr. Socrates running away. And was this also the episode we got Kosh putting Sheridan in the hot box?
I think that is this one.
I think that's this one.
List here.
All right.
That's the one where we got them eating Kellogg's cereal bars.
Yeah. I'm looking at this one, and I think I'm going to move this up one spot to above Confessions and Lamentations, because as I remember Confessions and Lamentations, I think I remember with that episode, I didn't really like the episode, but I thought it was a very important episode for what it had to say. And it was one of those episodes I really don't ever want to watch again. But this one I would, and I want to move this one up one spot into the new number 8 slot, and we'll move Confessions and Lamentations down one.
That works. I'm just double checking because I'm not sure it's the one where he got into the hot box. I think this is the one where he got, where he went out to meet Kosh and like talk to him and what's
like,
no, because that was the one where it started with them looking at his ship. I'm trying to. Yes, that is this one where they spent the time like they realized he had organic tech, and then he's like,
this is the one where we said it's organic tech. Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to be friends with Kosh, and so this is where he decided to fight legends.
That idea, you're starting to unveil Kosh and more of who he is, and we're diving a little bit more deeper into the mythos. So for all that reason, I'm going to move it up, and I'm going to wait to see what Divided Loyalties and All Alone in the Night are, to see if we don't actually bump it up a little bit higher because we're moving those other ones down. But Jeff, you are currently up for Confessions and Lamentations. That's the one with the plague. That was just a tough watch. The Marcab got completely wiped out. Hit us really close to home, having just come out of a pandemic. I guess we're out of it, but
arguably.
Yeah. But we've had, the COVID-19 pandemic as we've recorded this. What do you think? Do we leave this in? Do we go up or down with it? What do we do?
This is a powerful, powerful and important episode that I hate with every being, every piece of my fiber. Right. But I think that also on top of the powerful message that it had, it introduced some stuff around Delenn and the Minbari. I have that question outstanding now after having seen Kosh, if she had an early encounter with a Vorlon that set her up for some greatness. This is definitely going to stay in the top 10. There's no question of that for me.
Right.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hedge a bet on what you're going to think of Divided Loyalties. I'm going to move this above Divided Loyalties as the new number 7.
New number 7. Okay. I thought it would go down, to be honest with you.
I have a hard time not moving this one up big time. It's just to me, just because it is so
important. Yeah,
it's so important.
Yeah. Hunter Prey got pushed back down to number 9. That's okay. All right. So new number 8. Then we've been on number 8 for a couple of things now. Divided Loyalties. Which one was Divided Loyalties, Jeff?
This is where we found out that Talia had Lita Alexander came back, and then Talia had the fake, the bad guy personality that busted out of her.
Jeff, give me just 1 sec. All right. All right, I'm sorry. Say that one more time. Tell me what Divided Loyalties was about.
Divided Loyalties is the one where Lita Alexander comes back and warns about the implanted personality in somebody, and it turns out Talia turns into a bad guy, and we find out that Ivanova and Talia have been romantic.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to leave this one right there.
Really?
I'm going to leave it right there.
Okay.
You can steal.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't tempted to steal, but I would move it maybe one place, and I don't. We may not hit all 3 of our steals. I'm realizing as we move this way, but that's fine.
Okay, it's all right. All right. So next episode, then. Oh, here we go. Top 5, Jeff. Top 5. I don't know that these are actually going to move that much.
Right.
So the Fall of Night season ender. We got Kosh coming out as an angel.
Well, first we got to talk about All Alone in the Night. That's the next one.
I'm sorry, I missed that one.
And this is the one where Sheridan gets abducted by the Stribe, and then he has the vision and all that stuff that happens there. And then it's where Delenn gets fired from the Grey Council and Naroon is placed. Which, by the way, I was doing the math earlier when you were kind of talking through the season, and we learned there was the worker caste. The worker caste now has more of a voice on the council than the religious caste does, because there's 4 warriors, 3 workers, and only 2 religious.
It's true.
Those workers are going to stand up. It's going to be another by any means necessary for the Minbari coming up.
Right.
So we have this one right now, All Alone in the Night, at number 6. Oh man. Like, I'm looking at the top 5 and I'm like, does this crack the top 5? Does it get in there? And the only thing I could do is swap it with the Fall of Night, but I think I'm just going to leave it at number 6. This was such a good episode, but like you said, these are going to be nitpicky if they move it all.
I was going to say, I don't think these last ones are moving that much at all. Just a prediction. Well, with that, like I said, I don't think that these top 5 are going to change that much, but it is time to get into our top 5. Yes.
Wouldn't be an episode of ours if I didn't have that in there at least once.
I think I just said not 5.
Oh.
Which was number 5 and top 5 smushed together.
It works.
All right. Number 5. This is mine. Fall of Night. It's been a while since I've seen this episode, Jeff.
It's been a long time. I barely remember this one, actually.
Like 7 days. Maybe a little more, actually, at this point. Might be like 8 days. But whatever. This was the season 2 finale. This is the one where we got Kosh the Angel.
Handsome Squidward.
We got the Centauri blowing up Sheridan. We got, what else did we get besides Kosh the Angel? Which that was, I mean, you talk about reveal of all reveals. That was the reveal of the season, right?
It was huge.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's been the reveal of everything, really. Because I mean, he was the focus point of the pilot of this whole thing.
Yeah.
But we also
that was the I didn't see it coming. I knew there was something there, but I had no idea that it would be that.
And we also got the non-aggression treaty between Earth and Centauri, and then we got Night Watch getting to work.
Yeah. I'm gonna do something here, Jeff.
Uh-oh.
And I'm gonna do this just to make us rethink the entire top 5. I am moving this to number 1.
Okay.
All the way up to number 1. And if you want to replace it, we're going to have to move one of these other ones. But it's going to force us to actually ask questions about every single one of these last episodes.
Okay.
So this was a fantastic episode. This episode meant a lot. This episode sets us on a new course. In fact, I would almost say that this changes the game more so than the season 1 finale.
Oh, I agree. I agree with that completely. Yeah.
Yeah.
The season 1 finale put caps on things and left a little hanging for us to pick up. This, we were playing chess, right? And we were polishing the pieces and putting pieces on the board. Yeah. Now we're in we're playing a whole new game.
All right. So let's go back to the thing here.
So I have 2 steals left. I could invalidate what you're trying to do.
We both
here.
have 2 steals, right?
We do.
You could move it. You could.
But I'm not going to, because I understand the thought exercise you're forcing us into, and I appreciate it. It's important, I think.
But this was a fantastic season 2 finale, even if I don't think this should have been the finale episode.
Right. I hear you there.
So with that, number 4, then, well, actually the new number 5. Not 5. In the Shadow of Zahha-Dum. This was the episode where we got all of the information about the Ancient Ones, who the Shadows are, the coming war, or the war that's at hand. And we also got Morden being interrogated.
This is the episode where I decided the canon ending to Babylon 5, where Anna Sheridan shows up as a shadow agent.
Oh, that's right, because we revisited that whole situation a little bit. That's right.
Yeah, in the Shadow of Zahha-Dum really is like Revelations Part 2. In a way. Or Part 2-6. Revelations 1701A-4.
Right. Okay, so in the Shadow of Zahha-Dum.
So when we look at the top 5, there's a very clear theme. We're looking at the stories that involve the Shadows, the stories that involve the Narn and Centauri war, with one outlier that's talking about Psychor specifically. There's some Earth stuff in there, but it's really about the Underground Railroad and Psychor. And so this is going to put us in the thought exercise. And I'm going to tell you, Brent, what I'm super tempted to do here is to shake our game up. And instead of us going episode by episode back and forth, is we just look at this new top 5 that's the same top 5 in a slightly different order.
Mm-hmm.
And we just start breaking out how critical these are, like, and where they land. Because, like, if I think about the story of season 2, that we thought was going to be super shadow centric, the shadows were the whisper underneath it all.
Yeah.
The real story was all the strife. The shadows, the little s shadows, were all the governments and the species blowing up against each other and with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that A Race Through Dark Places is super important because we have to have something in the Earth Force story that hits this piece. And it was, not only was it important, it was so good. It was such a
great twist. It had that Ocean's 11 kind of a twist on it.
Yeah. It worked, and it worked so well.
Yeah.
So this
actually made Bester a cool bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when we first met Bester, it's like, oh, look, it's Chekhov. And it was like, oh, it's Bester. I love Bester. I'm like, it was okay. It wasn't that great, you know? And like this one came in, you're like, oh, I kind of like Bester, like as a bad guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Because you understood, I understood him a little more. Like, you know, they added some depth to him and everything. So to me, this is what I'm going to propose. I'm going to propose keeping A Race Through Dark Places at number 4, and then us talking about the 4 remaining episodes that are really the Shadows and Narn Centauri stuff, and kind of figure out what order those need to drop into. Or do you still want to maybe take it piece by piece?
You kind of have to talk about these all as one.
I think you do, because they're all contiguous in a way.
But here's where I kind of want to, like, you mean these top 3? We kind of got to talk about these top 3 all together.
Yeah. Because I'll be honest, I am super comfortable keeping Shadow of Zahadum at 5 and A Race Through Dark Places at 4. Shadow was incredible, but the big thing in it was the story that, in my opinion,
the history of everything.
Yeah, the billions of years of history that sets the stage for probably seasons 3, 4, and 5.
Right.
So the real story for us comes in this coming of Shadows, long twilight struggle, fall of night.
Yeah. How many steals do I have left?
We both have 2 steals left.
You know, the thing is I could steal one of these and make a change, and then you could steal something else and change it back. And then we can't move it. So I'm gonna see what you do here, Jeff, and I'm gonna issue my second steal.
Okay.
And I'm gonna bump A Race Through Dark Places down to number 5. Because I see In the Shadow of Zahadum really as a part of this 4 and not separate. And I think I think that In the Shadow of Zahadum is more important than A Race Through Dark Places, and I think I liked the episode better, even though Race Through Dark Places was great. Like we've talked about, these are those episodes you throw them in a bag, shake the tiles up, and this is the good part of season 2. When we talk about those highs that are so good, all of these episodes are that. So it's, you know, how do you rank the stuff that you love? Well, you're making me put it in an order. This is where I'm going to. So I'm going to issue a steal of just saying I liked In the Shadow of Zahadum better, and I think it was a little bit more important. So I'm going to go up to number 4. I'm stealing A Race Through Dark Places and dropping it down.
Okay.
Which means you can't steal A Race Through Dark Places.
Exactly. It's where it's at now.
Yes. But like I said, you could steal something else and move it to your heart's content.
Well, I don't think we need to. I don't need to steal yet.
Yeah.
Because now we're talking. Oh, well. I get it, but it's all right. We still got a little bit to get through. Okay. Coming of Shadows.
Coming of Shadows. Yes.
Coming of Shadows is where the war was declared.
The Centauri Narn War.
Correct.
We got the old emperor with the no hair,
mm-hmm.
and he died. Right? He whispered in Londo's ear at some point, and they were thinking they were going to have to kill him, but he just died anyway.
Yeah, I loved actually this one too, where because Jakar was going to kill him, and he's just like, "How dare this guy?
Right?
How dare he go and die on his own?"
Right.
He was prepared to throw it all away.
Right.
Am I placing this one? Is that me?
Yeah, this is you. Oh no, wait, this is me.
I think it is. Yeah.
This is me. Sorry, this is me. Well, we said we were going to talk about these together.
Kind of together.
But I honestly, now that I think about it though, I almost want to drop it down to like 4.
You think Zahadoom was a bigger impact?
Yeah. I'm doing it. I'm dropping it down to number 4.
So I think, and this is where I think the Coming of Shadows was a bigger impact. I think In the Shadow of Zahadoom was a better episode.
Fair.
I enjoyed that one more.
Yeah. They declared war in this one, and it consumed the second half of the season and will likely extend. The repercussions of that are going to be felt all the way through season 3, if not beyond. The impact is probably better, but In the Shadow of Zahadoom is the overall mythos, right? Like that's establishing the mythology of what's going on.
Exactly.
So, like I said, throw them in a bag, shake them up. But I'm going to go with In Shadow of Zahadoom was a better episode than although in the Coming of Shadow, I mean, we got the new sets.
Yeah.
We got this entire, I mean, there was a lot with that episode. It was a good episode. Good episode. Highs. These are all the highs.
And they're very high. They're really good.
Yep. All right. So you have.
This is our last one.
Oh, this is the number 1. This is our old number 1. Now it's number 2. This is our final episode to discuss, Jeff. Final episode. So you get to place this one. I have one more steal. You actually have 2 steals. You could use them both together.
Yeah.
Oh, you sneaky devil. You
I
just
did
saved them all up.
Planned it a little bit, not all the way.
All right.
But
Final episode, Jeff. It is yours. In the Long Twilight Struggle.
The long Twilight
struggle.
The long Twilight Struggle signaled the end of the Narn regime. I mean, that's This was the
end of the Centauri Narn War,
and the end of Londo as someone that we were rooting for. This had that unbelievably powerful scene of Londo watching the mass drivers shooting down onto Homeworld, and he's just like, "Oh my God, what have I done?"
Watching his own reflection, seeing his own like, oh my gosh, it was such a good episode.
My problem. I talked about with Comes the Inquisitor. My problem with one of my problems overall with season 2 is how it ended. Just the tone and the pace was weird. So we got Long Twilight Struggle, we got Comes the Inquisitor, we got the Fall of Night. Fall of Night and Twilight Struggle are great episodes. Comes the Inquisitor, interesting episode, super slow, could have happened anywhere else. And it ruined the end a little bit for me. But the thing is, Brent, the Long Twilight Struggle should have been the finale.
Yeah.
This was a season-ending episode.
Let me ask you this. Could you have switched Long Twilight Struggle and the Fall of Night? Just switch the titles on the episodes if you want to. I don't care. But switch their position. Have the Kosh reveal and then move into Shadow, the final Shadows just obliterating the Narn homeworld and moving into that piece.
I think you
could have.
The only piece that, and they kept it as a B story through both Comes the Inquisitor and Fall of Night, but just the Jakar stuff and the Narn resistance that he's building. You just keep that storyline. Well, you wouldn't be able to keep it because the end doesn't come.
Honestly, that piece, those things are season 3. Move it into season 3. Ending a thing on, oh my gosh, we know what Kosh is now. We know, and because remember when they revealed who Kosh was, it was like okay, not everybody knows that was Kosh. Don't tell anybody. We'll keep it a secret from the Shadows. That was where we left it, right?
Yeah.
You easily move into the events of Long Twilight Struggle after that, where the Shadows come in and do this big thing where they just it's the last hurrah, right? Londo's like, this is the last time I'm getting my associates involved, right? And they go in and obliterate it. And the final shot is, we're like, oh my gosh, the Shadows have just really come out. We know what Kosh is now. And they've just obliterated the Narn homeworld. And Londo's sitting there looking like, what have I just done? End season.
That's it. Now we're moving. You could even put that same voiceover that Ivanova does. You could still have that same end little sequence at the end of it, but just after the destruction of Homeworld.
You could, but honestly, that would go better in season 3. Leave this here. I don't need that as a because you know what that honestly kind of is. That's Ivanova's like, hey, here's what happened last season.
Oh yeah,
Babylon 5.
Well, I feel like what it really is Babylon 5 being like, hey, we don't know if we're coming back for season 3, so we're gonna tap this on here just in case this is the end of our story.
I
have no idea.
I don't know. Yeah. Don't tell us, guys. We'll find out after.
But I do think on top of just to think about just the pace of the episode, Confessions and Lamentations started the last 5 episodes of the season. And in that we saw the destruction of an entire Markhaber gone.
Yeah.
Then in Long Twilight Struggle, Narn effectively gone.
Yep.
So you hit, but I think spacing it out and having that be at the end would have been stronger. That said, we got to get
just clarify what you said, because you're going to get a lot of comments and emails on this one, Jeff. The Narn are not obliterated like the Markhab were.
Correct.
We're saying politically, the Narn are effectively gone because they just got absorbed into the Centauri.
They're Centauri.
And they're Centauri, they're slaves-ish, maybe second class citizens, whatever that is. So,
they are, how does Londo put it? They are re-educated, stabilized now. What it is. They're not slaves, they're just re-educated, which has a real Night Watch ring to it.
Right.
So let's get to work.
So what are you doing with Long Twilight Struggle?
It's the best episode of this season. It is number 1. It is the best episode of Babylon 5 that we have watched so far.
I would not disagree with you on that. And this is why I wanted to move The Fall of Night up. Number 1, because I wanted you to once again say, like, it had to earn its top spot. Like, yes, it deserves to be in this spot. So, Jeff, our top 5 currently sit at The Long Twilight Struggle, The Fall of Night, In the Shadow of Zahad-Dum, Coming of Shadows, and A Race Through Dark Places, plus all the other episodes. You have 2 steals left if you want to make any final adjustments. And once you do it, I can't do bupkis about it. Gonna use any?
Can I steal from the first season and put TKO in our top 5?
No, not. I will veto that one. That is a veto.
No, I feel really good about this list. Do you have a steal left? Is there any last steal you want to make?
I'm going to take Soulmates and move it into the top 5.
Okay, I'm good.
Long Dark is coming up.
The Long Dark got a big win.
It really did. You remember how, like, we had, it was like the Long Dark automatically fell to 22 and we just filled in the rest of it for the whole of the season. But that's an episode that is better on the rewatch once you know what's going on. And it matters so much more. And same thing with Geometry of Shadows, honestly. Geometry of Shadows got a big bump out of this exercise too.
I'm looking at our initial list, and I think that Geometry of Shadows is the big winner in this one. Everything else, we moved a lot of stuff. We had a lot of conversation, but things moved within maybe 2, 1 or 2 spaces.
Yeah.
Our top 5 is the same. Different order, but it's the same episodes. The bottom 5, what do we got here? Same.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, about the same. So, things moved around a little bit, but I think that says a couple of things. One, it says that we were using our analytical eye as we were moving through this and trying to rate things fairly, but also it shows that when you look back at the season, things do change.
Yeah.
And we've acknowledged that. I'm excited to see how that continues, right? Moving on and just like, what is season 2 going to look like after we're partway through season 3, right?
We've talked about it. Babylon 5 for the second time is a I'm not committing us to doing that as a podcast, Jeff. Okay.
It's more and more of a possibility, or more. I'd say there's more merit to it.
Yeah. And there's definitely there's a reason to do a second watch after doing a first watch. That is not your 43rd watch. 47th watch.
47th. Yeah. Let's be clear here.
And honestly, we would have a different reason for watching it a second time than the Star Trek analysis, right?
Mhm.
Like the analytical lens to it. So, Jeff, that is officially the 100% completely accurate, definitive ranking of Babylon 5 season 2.
I can't wait to post that. Do you remember when we posted the ranking for season 1? Like
People lost their minds.
minutes later, like literally minutes later, Twitter
Yeah.
was almost non-existent. It felt we crashed Twitter with
Right.
that list.
It took Elon coming in to try to save it.
Right. And he's like, no, it's fine. Don't worry,
Yeah.
I've got this. I'll blow this thing.
I'm gonna fire everybody.
Who led this list on here? Who?
All of you. All right,
You know-
Jeff. So that is our ranking. Let's this episode with the wrap up is a little bit of a longer episode by nature, but let's speed this along just a little bit. One of the questions we had last time, and we've got to look at it again this time. Question last time: favorite characters coming out of season 1. Who do you like? Right. Let's revisit that just for a minute. Now with season 2, have any of the characters elevated, like have they any character shifts for you that have been super big that you want to address before we move on into season 3?
Well, I just want to call out that at the end of season 1, you wanted to be Londo.
Yeah.
So
I will say this. My favorite character still is Ivanova. And if I were to be in the reboot of Babylon 5, I would still want to play Londo. Because frankly, the bad guy's always the best person to play. And you know who would agree with me on that? Andrea Thompson. When we got evil Talia. And she played her so much better than she did Talia.
I think when we talk about shifts and changes, it is Jakar and Londo that had the biggest shifts. You know, Londo for all the reasons we've talked about, but I think Jakar, when was it when he first, the episode where he was like, oh, by the way, don't know if you knew this about me or not, but like religion's kind of a thing for me, and Londo stole my flower.
Yeah.
And we were like,
When did
really?
they make Jakar a religious figure? Like,
Yeah.
I remember asking that.
yeah.
Like, did they just pull this out of their butts? Like,
And it over the season, how powerful that's become and how much more of an empathetic and sympathetic character he has been. Like Jakar we have seen him high, as low, and just has really changed. But I think for the other characters, my favorite out of season 1 was Garibaldi. Loved Garibaldi in season 1. I still love Garibaldi here in season 2, but not as much. I think, and it feels like a cliche almost for me to say. I'll tell you right now, my favorite is waffling between 2. One is
yes.
Please do.
Lanier and Veer.
You're so close. You're 50% there.
Okay.
So the cliche one is Sheridan. Brent, I love Sheridan.
He's so good. Yeah.
So good. But my other one is Veer. For a guy, like I bagged on both Lanier and Veer in season 1, and they grew on me as the season went on. Lanier more so in first season. But my God, Veer in the second season, his growth, every scene he's in, I'm just like, yes, God, you're awesome. I love the stuff with Veer.
Lanier, to me, I remember in the first season felt like a young kid.
Mm-hmm.
And in this season, he doesn't feel like a young kid anymore. He feels like a man, still under Delenn, still with respect, but he has his own strength. And, he's a guy that like, oh no, he could just be the ambassador himself. Like he's qualified. Right.
Yeah.
Veer is going through a growth that I think I hoped for Londo. Like, you remember when Londo's laying in bed with that girl and he's like, what have I done with my life? And later on with the cousins, like, I forgot how to dance. I don't want you to forget to dance. Like Veer's going through that, finding inner strength and morality and what's really important in life.
There's
and
a
he's
real
picking it.
there's a real generationality to progress and change, and I mean, we see that in our life, and we put all these labels on it, Gen X and millennials and Gen Z and all this, where we just look at things differently. We see it spelled out in front of us with Londo, who was trying to change. He was brought up in the old ways of the great Centauri Republic. Also, he, wanted to like love and do things. Veer has grown up with that mindset. I want to marry who I want to marry, and I want to advocate for people who want to do their things. And What? So when we look at this in terms of like the progression of change, who else in Veer's generation has these? Is this their millennial, generation? Or I guess at the time is Veer their Gen X that's coming up and like, yeah, this doesn't work. We want to do things differently. Yeah. And I think I still think at the end of, I don't know, the series or season 4 or whatever, when the Narn finally are independent of the Centauri, it's going to be G'Kar and Veer holding their hands high. That's going to be how the resistance happens as one.
Veer joining the resistance makes all the sense in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to address Londo and G'Kar because my opinions of these two people have changed
dramatically. Yeah.
The Narn as a whole and G'Kar as well, where I used to see them as a big, strong people group, actually seem rather weak and frail to me now. Like they seem weak, and not just because they just got obliterated. We watched a scene where the Centauri and the Narn began to fight, and the Centauri kicked butt.
Fat and paunch-bellied drunk Centauris were beating him up.
Yeah, like the Narn as a whole, and I mean, the Narn look like they're this big, imposing warrior group, and they're not. Like, and they tell us that, like they've actually told us that the Narn are an agrarian society. They were a peaceful society. This is who they are. They're not this big warrior group, so it makes sense. This is just now how I see them.
Yeah,
and like G'Kar also just appears very weak. Now there's an inner strength, I think, in G'Kar that's going to come out, and he's going to lead. And even this weaker people can band together and be a resistance. I don't want to get any emails or comments like, oh, I'm just saying this is how I now see, where I used to see them more Klingon-esque.
Mm-hmm.
They're now more Bajoran-esque, and like preoccupation Bajoran, maybe,
mm-hmm. Yeah. Where there are religious, peaceful people that are full of artists and they are what we saw in the first, I'll say season 1, Babylon 5, when they were full of bravado. And we thought for sure they were going to be the evil race on there. That's what the Centauri occupation turned them into.
Yeah.
And so when all this happens and the Narn declare war on the Centauri, that is the natural progression of what the Centauri have always done to them.
Yeah.
Of course they declared war on them.
Right. And for Londo's change breaks my absolute heart. I hate what the writers have done to the character of Londo.
I think his change breaks his heart. You know what I mean? Like,
fine. But this is not the story I want to see Londo go on. I don't mind a heel turn by a character, i.e. Talia. Talia turning into a bad character is fantastic. Awesome. I do not like what is happening with Londo and where he's gone. And he's gone so far. And I don't really see Londo coming back. Like, I see something weird, like G'Kar is going to wind up as Londo's personal servant or something. Like, these two are going to get stuck together, right? But it's still Londo lording it over and being this big bravado. And here's G'Kar having to get on his knees and let Londo use his back as a stepping stool. That's where I see this going, and I don't like it. And Londo's eventually just going to get old, and he's going to cough himself to death, and G'Kar is gonna be the one who eventually kills him. Mm-hmm. That's how he's gonna go out. And I don't want that for this character. Like, I want so much more for this character. But like I said, the Talia turn was great. I hope we see her coming back.
Totally.
I don't know that we will, but I hope we see her coming back, because her storyline is, and this we'll get into this in just a second of like what questions we have. Her storyline is unresolved. Absolutely.
Completely. So she just left the station.
Yeah.
Out in the world.
Yeah. I will say this, and this is the last I have of the main characters. I see more in this season than I ever did in first season. The Kirk, Spock, McCoy thing, and it's
really
Sheridan, Ivanova, and Garibaldi. It's those three they're in every episode. They're centric to what's going on. Londo and G'Kar can come and go. Delenn can come and go. The Lanier and Veer, they can come and go. All these people, Kosh can come He never. I think he always goes. You know, but these three really are the core of the show and what it's about, and that plays more true in this season, I think, than it did in the first season. Of like, this is who it's about. Ivanova's promotion feels like it's taken some of the edge off of her that we saw in season 1.
I agree.
And I say some, not, I mean, she still has the snark. She still has all this, but it's not as snarky. It's not as frequent or often as we saw in season 1. And I think that might just be, she has new responsibilities, but look what she did to the Drazi to end that whole deal. When my favorite moment for, I think, Ivanova out of the whole deal, well, I don't know. There's a lot of good Ivanova moments, but all the way back in the first episode where she's like talking to Sheridan about Delenn being in a cocoon. And he's like, moth or butterfly? She says, yes. About yay high. That's classic Ivanova.
Yeah.
And we just don't see that by the end of the season,
Her bites don't have the bite that they used to have. And
I do hope you're going to resist.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just. And I also think
Ivanova is God. It's like, sorry. Just
joke about that part. But I think even at the end of Fall of Night, not the very end, but near the end, they even like started to show, I don't want to say incompetence isn't the right word, but they showed that she was a little out of her depth, similar to how Sinclair was as the commander of the station. But the Centauri are like, they're in that standoff. And, that if you fire on us, we'll fire back on you. And she says to Sheridan, they're trying to get us to make the first move. And he's like, no, they're not. Captain, energy buildup in here it goes. Like, just little things like that where she used to be right. She called the stuff as it was. She saw it. She had snark and snap. And now she's lost some of that. And when she does call things, she's not right. And I don't know, that's not a negative on her. I just think she's swimming in a bigger pool at this point. And it just takes time to get there. Hopefully we get more of the bite in her in the third season when things are not good. She's not having to go solve the Drazi problem or be sexually assaulted by the Lumati.
Well, on that note, let's quickly run through. I have a very short list on this one.
I do as well.
Guest stars that stand out. There wasn't a lot of guest stars in this season that really stand out. The big, I mean, we both have our what was the grill guy's name?
David Warner.
I think we both have our David Warner from this season.
We do, but also they aren't a David Warner.
That is true.
Right. Like the level that he, I mean, here, let's go talk about Grail, but the level that he brought to Babylon 5, no one has touched that yet.
True.
But
our favorite guest star from the season 2,
3, 2, 1, Michael Ansari.
Yeah, absolutely. Technomage. Again, he made Technomages.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was the perfect guy for that role. And I don't know that they had anybody, but like it was nice to see Lawyer Natoth.
Yeah.
We'll call her B5 She-Hulk. And it's when you told me that was the actress who played Natoth, it made that whole character make sense.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. That's where everything, and I want her. I really liked the guy who did the Inquisitor, Jack the Ripper dude. I liked him a lot as a guest star. That could be more recency bias, but he's not as good as Michael Ansara.
He was great. He went toe to toe with Mira Furlan, and it was believable. Like, he was great.
And then one I absolutely hated. I hated, like, I'm talking Liana Kimmer level. I did not like this guest actress again, and it was a blonde, the lady who played Sheridan's sister.
I wouldn't go as far as Kimmer.
Oh, I felt she brought the whole thing down, and like Bruce Boxleitner did not act against her as well as he did the most cringy acting moments I saw from him in the whole season was him acting against her.
It really is that comparison of him, because I agree she wasn't great and that she did bring things down. I think Kemmer's at a whole different level. Also, I mean, I said it before, I enjoyed watching Kemmer. Did not really enjoy watching his sister, but Bruce Boxleitner could not elevate her. David Warner elevated
Jinxo.
not just Jinxo, but like rubber prosthetics. Like he was acting
Right.
against
Yeah.
prosthetics, and I believed everything more because of him.
Yeah.
He's just at a different level. Also, there was Dwight Schultz
Yeah.
in this season.
Oh, who would,
he was excellent. He was excellent.
Played such a good crazy guy.
Mm-hmm. He
Such-
always does.
Yeah.
And to me, he was the high point of the Long Dark, and that's I mean that's not saying a lot, but it was. He was really great in that one.
Mhm.
But let's get to the good stuff, Brent. I mean, we've now watched 2 full seasons, 45 episodes, counting the Gathering of Babylon 5. What are the big questions that we have that are coming out of where we are now?
I've got about a half dozen. Can I just run through them as a
Do
list?
it.
Like,
Do it.
Okay. I want to know what's going on with Talia and Ironheart's gift. That was such a big thing from season 1, and they brought it back again, and they took Talia out. I think we understand that it's because Trish got fired, or she went on to a different show or something like that. So that's where I'm like, I don't know that she's coming back. Hopefully she does, because they're still like Ironheart ascended, and he gave her a gift and elevated her, and then turns out she's a mole working for the other side. I need to, this is lingering. It's not done. I need to know, what is Bureau 13 and what is Control? Like this whole section, that piece. I want to know, does the Underground Railroad play more into this? The movement of the latent sidecar people. One of us a latent.
Right? We haven't even talked about that.
Sorry. I want to know how the Vorlons figure into Earth's history. This might be my own personal curiosity more than show curiosity. We know he's an angel. Okay. Are they going to address anything like just throughout Earth's history that like, oh, that was the Vorlon and that was the Vorlon? I want to know why the Vorlons didn't leave and where they go when they do. That is an outstanding question for me, you know?
And will any of them come back? Like, did they go somewhere and they'll come back, or are they just gone?
Well, that gets down to a little bit of my predictions for where we're going, but also I want to know more about Zathras and the whole Babylon 4, old Sinclair, Delenn's hand. We didn't feel like like they set that up and we didn't touch it, except for that one spot where Drawl goes, Zathras, never around when you need him. Like, we didn't touch that. And that's actually, I think, a lingering one from season 1.
Yeah.
You know? And then my other piece is Londo. Is he going to keep getting sicker? And is this infection going to continue to spread in him, almost mimicking how he has embraced this evil side? Like, as he's embraced evil, does this infection continue to spread in him as well?
He's like a General Grievous kind of a thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What if? Oh my God. What if?
Yeah.
It's the Marcab virus that's mutated and is now somehow, like, in a different way impacting
And it's
Centauri.
incubating in Londo before it goes to the entire Centauri people group and knocks them all out.
Yeah, that won't happen.
And the Narn are the only people left standing to rule the Centauri Empire.
Right. Yeah. I don't think the message of Babylon 5 is that a virus is going to solve the problem, but it's an interesting thought.
War of the Worlds. Hello.
Yeah, but it killed, I guess so. It was the occupying force that did that.
Yeah. How about you, Jeff? What questions do you have coming out of this season?
I think you covered most everything that I had as well. I have a lot of questions about what's going on Earth. And to me, the Earth storyline is the one I'm most interested in.
Really?
I find it fascinating, and I especially love the Orwellian bent they've taken on it ever since Now for a Word.
Yeah.
It's
with the Ministry of Peace and all that kind of stuff going on.
Yeah, exactly. The thought crime and everything. It's very bonk. It's very over the head, but he's not even renaming the things. Right. I mean, it's straight out of the book. But I think that I'm super fascinated in that. But I mean, my big question.
Yeah.
And this won't surprise you or anyone else, but when's Anna coming back? And when's she going to ask?
I think that might be your prediction for season 3, though.
Right. And also, I mean, then when's Walker Smith coming back? When's the next Mutai? Let's get to the good stuff.
All right, Jeff. Well, I think before we get to predictions, this is the part of the show where we boil everything down and see if it has that Star Trekkie like quality to it. Is there a deep moral message? Is it holding up mirror to society? Is it giving us hope that we're going to be better in the future? Jeff, we're not talking about a single episode. We're talking about the season as a whole. And so, Jeff, do you want Deltas or Star Furies, pal?
Well, I think, do you want to do it separately, or do we want to kind of talk through and land on it?
Let's talk through it. Let's do this one together.
Yeah.
By all powers combined.
We shall answer this impossible question of how many deltas does this season get? Brent,
I think when you look at this, you got to look at the overall story of the season, not the individual things that happened in episodes, right?
Agreed.
And I don't think the Vorlons are very good at keeping the Prime Directive.
Apparently.
Until they're not.
Which is very Star Trek. I mean,
right. Which is very Star Trek. But outside of that, I mean, you could talk about holding up a mirror to society with how the Ministry of Peace is going on and the way that whole thing is happening, with the war and the antics of war and what that brings. But I don't know that there's really a hope. I mean, this is a very hopeless season.
Yeah.
Where it's leaving us. Now, maybe by the end of the series, we look at the series as a whole, it gives us that hope. But right now, you're in the middle of it, right? Night has fallen.
Yeah.
And I don't see a lot of deltas overall, as far as that message. Like, what's it telling us?
Yeah. Because I think we've talked about this before. You know, Star Trek we're in a better future, and how do we maintain that, and how do we do this? You know, what does it look like there? Babylon 5 is it worth it to get there? One, and if it is, this is what it takes to get there.
Because I'm sorry, just to piggyback off what you're saying, what I'm seeing out of humanity, out of Earth, it's not worth saving.
At this point, I agree.
Right now, with what we see, it's not worth saving.
Like right now, if you could wipe the Centauri and Earth off the map, things would move a lot more smoothly. Like we'd be more prepared for the shadows.
The Narn are innocent, and the Vorlon apparently are like the angels of the world, of the universe. Like, they're cool. I'm cool with all them.
But I think that there were some real strong messages through, mostly, and this happened in the first season as well, but through Delenn, and speaking through the whole thing and demonstrating multiple times about, we live to the point of our life is service.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for, and what they're able to accomplish because of that. But again, it's Babylon 5. They counter that by saying, hey, we're all about service and all about greatness. Also, you only have 2 seats on the Grey Council. We're a warrior race now. And yeah, we're cool and touchy feeling here at the end of season 2, but for a fact it's going to come out not great.
But to your point of Delenn, okay, now let me pull a direct Star Trek thing. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one. Delenn sees this problem. She takes on, she sacrifices everything for the needs of the universe, of the whole, because there's this thing coming. Right? That's what that means to be the one who's willing to do that. That's huge.
Yeah. To think, because you hear the phrase the one or chosen one, and you think the hero standing atop the pile with their arms raised high, but no.
You know what I think, honestly? I think Neo from the Matrix laying like he's on a crucifix getting crossed over the people at the end of the 3rd film, which is like, wow, you went there with that one.
Yeah.
That's what I think of the one.
Because in this one, the one is going to be Delenn giving it all up. Choosing to sacrifice herself with no fame, with no recognition or anything for the whole universe to survive. So I think when we look at the Star Trek piece,
and what does she do? What does she do in the middle of the season? She goes to Sheridan and says, hey, I need to talk to you. We need to talk. We need to just go have lunch and have dinner and get to know each other. And oh, please, now I can start calling you John, and I'm going to come and hug you, and we're going to become a thing. And Sheridan turns around and says, hey, Kosh, I need to know you. Hey, Draw, we're neighbors. It's about time we got to know each other. Because Delenn did it first.
She started it. She showed that that's what you do.
That's
time and again.
I had not thought about till
it really is. Like she showed the way.
Yeah.
This is the way that we do.
In the midst of everybody else not doing it.
In the midst, and this is where like the final statement I have on what I think the real overarching message of season 2 is from this lens, is that even in darkness, in the darkest of darkness, there's beauty. No matter how bad things are, something will come along, something will light the way. That's
Can I add to that? I want to piggyback on that. Even in the darkness, something will come along, and that something can be you.
Oh,
if you choose to do it.
If you take
choose
that
to
on.
do it, it could be you. Because it didn't have to be Delenn. Anybody could have gone into the cocoon.
Mhm.
They didn't have to do the cocoon. But she's like, nope, this is it. And I'm here now. I'm in this spot. This is
And
my
like-
seat. I'm going to do it.
And like she says to the Inquisitor, right? If it's not me, there will be another who will come and take my place. And if not them, there will be another. Because that mantle can pass on. That light isn't person-centric. There's not one, the light, that beauty exists regardless. And I think
that was the entire point of Comes the Inquisitor, to teach her that fact. And then what do they say at the end of Comes the Inquisitor? I put the bow cap on the whole thing.
They
Just
say-
remember, you are the right people in the right place at the right time for the crap that you're getting ready to go through. Listen to me. You, for whatever's going on, you're the right person in the right place at the right time to make the difference. That's the start. Wow, Jeff. Oh, I'll get out right here. How many deltas are we going to give this?
I'm feeling 3.
That's exactly where my mind was.
Yeah.
I don't know that was the intended message. An intentional message automatically shoots it up. But I'm comfortable with 3 deltas on this season. Because I think that's very clear when you look at the season as a whole. Now let's talk about Star Furies.
Yeah, this is a different
Babylon
conversation.
5 is this one. How much did we enjoy it? But how much did Babylon 5 do it in its own way? Blaze its own path, Jeff?
You know, when I was preparing for this episode, I went back and I looked at the season 1 ranking that we did and kind of compared it to the second one. And that's kind of where I talked about season 1 had higher highs and lower lows. And that's not entirely, like, your explanation made a lot of sense. And what our ranking showed was that for the outside of the top 5, and specifically the top 3 of the top 5, like, everything was kind of here. Put it in a bag, shake it up where it lands. You know, it's where season 1 was not that. I don't know that that's a positive necessarily, though. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes that emotional roller coaster that they can take you on up and down means a lot, but it's not just about how we enjoyed it. I'll say this. When we were recording the first season, it made me sick to wait another week to watch the next episode. After about 5 or 6 episodes into the second season, I wasn't feeling sick anymore waiting for the next episode. I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch this one next week.
No, because you and I were the same on this one. You know what we were? It was, I need to watch the next episode to get past this one.
Right. I need to cleanse my palate.
How many times did you and I go into a recording privately between the two of us and go, I need to record this one because I have to move on.
Yeah.
I can't stick on this episode for much longer because I've got to get it out and just move on because of right. But Jeff, I want to throw up our for the YouTube folks that are out there. I want to throw up our list again for this season. And you know what I notice as I look at this list? Geometry of Shadows, Soulmates, you could argue Comes the Inquisitor, I would argue about that, is kind of the line between where we go from the good episodes to the episodes, right?
Yeah. That's our
And you know
neutral
what?
zone.
That's right around episode 11, 12, which means half the season was good. And probably about half of that was great.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then below that, half the season, you and I would both look at and go, was not really that good. Right.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, this is a 50-50 season, like had some good, had some kind of, you know what I mean? And even, I don't know that I would look at the bottom 5 and say that those were just absolutely god awful. I never want to, well, there's some of these I don't want to watch again, but
if I had to, if I was forced to, I wouldn't like throw up or anything. Yeah.
Right.
Like, oh, all right.
I'd watch them on a rewatch. It's
Mhm.
fine. And I might even appreciate them more once I see what happens in season 3 and 4.
Yeah.
So It's a 50-50 episode season to me, right? About half the episode season was good. Half it wasn't. I don't know about you, Jeff. Out of 5 Star Furies, I'm going to give this one 2.5. I'm going to split it right in the middle.
So I think that your math checks out. Half and half, 2.5 makes it half. But I also think that the other part of the equation is how Babylon 5 is it.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crud, this was a pretty Babylon 5 season. Right. Like we just talked about how they delivered a Star Trek message in a way only Babylon 5 could do it. To me, that bumps it up to about 3. 3 Star Furies.
Is doing okay because I base level 2.5 is doing it in a completely Babylon 5 worth only 1/2 of a Star Fury.
So I don't know that it was done in a completely Babylon 5 way is my thing. And again, I claiming ignorance.
What Babylon 5 way is, right?
Exactly. But my understanding of it is that they wrapped a lot of stuff in like, we're going to make this suit like the Confessions and Lamentations versus Believers thing, right? Hey, we're going to take this thing on, but now we're a lot better at it. Everyone on the crew kind of understands it.
Oh, because that one both killed kids, didn't it?
Uh-huh. And Dr. Franklin was involved because he's the worst, objectively speaking. But I think it could be worth another 2.5. Like being more Babylon 5 could pop this all the way up to 5 Star Furies. But I don't know that this is fully Babylon 5 enough to do more. So I'm saying 3.
Yeah.
But I would not shake a fist at 3.5.
Well, and then does half the season being objectively not good knock it down a little bit too, from what it would otherwise be just as Babylon 5. I'm comfortable with leaving it at 3.
Okay.
3 deltas, 3 Star Furies is our final ranking on the season 2. 3 and 3. I'm comfortable. That's good.
It feels good. You know what else I'm comfortable with?
What's that?
I think it's going to happen here shortly after our next little segment here, and that's the big giveaway.
Come on now.
Brent, we've been talking for almost 2 hours. If you're on YouTube, you've been with us this long, and you're amazing. If you're on the audio, it's not quite 2 hours long, but you're still with us, and that's awesome. Just know we've not left the giveaway out. That's coming. I have a little like a macro that I built into. I didn't have time to like print things out and do the cool bag that we did for season 1, so I just have the spreadsheet, and I built a macro to randomly select the person. So that's going to come up after we get into this next section. Are you ready for this?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Because Brent,
2 hours. Hey, listen, thanks to everybody staying around for 2 hours. I got to go, man.
Right?
Let's roll this. Let's do it.
Well, officially, Brent, this is it. We have now wrapped the second season of Babylon 5.
All right. Oh, we're now talking about season 3.
We're moving forward.
We're
there. So the third, so second season was called The Coming of Shadows. First season was Signs and Portents. The third season is called Point of No Return.
I'm now hearing the song from opera in my head.
Right. So we like to play a game at the end of each episode where we guess based on the title alone what the next episode is about. We're still going to do that. But before we get to the next episode, Brent, what are your high-level season 3 predictions for what do you think is going to happen in Point of No Return?
The Shadow War has to erupt. Like, if it hasn't officially erupted now, which I don't know that it really did, this is where it all has to go to hell. I think I'm going to make a major prediction here. I think somehow, some way, Babylon 5 as an entity is going to break away from Earth and its support for Earth. I think it's going to become its own deal. And they are, as a whole, going to become this hub for resistance against the Centauri and Earth and the Shadows and whatever else is going on out there. Psychor. But I there was something Sheridan said in this last season where he's like, at least we here at Babylon 5, or I forget exactly what it was, but it was in this last like episode or two where it kind of made me go, are they going to do their own thing? And we know that there's this General Haig resistance movement that's trying to like separate and you know, our point of no return is we're in war. We're going to be in war. And I think a big piece of this is how Babylon 5 is going to be the forefront of that. Also, we know that JMS, he constructed these 5 seasons together, and there is an arc to how he has put this together. And in the narrative arc, this is where the climax happens. We've had rising action. This is the stuff. And we've been leading to war. So it's got to be the war. Does it wrap all the way by the end of the season? I don't know, because next season would be falling action. So I don't know, but the biggest stuff has to happen.
I agree almost point for point. In fact, I think to like throw my guess way out there, every season so far has had an episode titled the name of the season, right? Signs and Portents, Coming of Shadows. There's probably a Point of No Return episode in the 3rd season. That's going to be the episode where Sheridan's like, we're out. If you don't want to,
so you picked up on that, like Babylon 5's kind of,
because especially I think it was in between Shadows of Hadum and Long Twilight Struggle and Fall of Night, there were alliances made specifically with Babylon 5, right? Where Epsilon 3 and the Drawl and everybody aren't allied with Minbar or Earth. They're allied with Babylon 5.
True.
And then there's when he offered help to the Narn. And then
the resources of Babylon 5 are going to help the Narn.
Which included the Rangers. So I think we've got the military.
He's got his own army, right?
Exactly. We've got the arm of them through the Rangers. So I definitely think the same thing's going to happen. It's going to happen in Point of No Return, and it will be a very Picard thing where he's like, this is what we're doing. This is the direction we're going. If you're not cool with that, there's the door. Go. Nothing will be held against you. We will not attack you. You are given safety and sanctuary and reprieve, but leave. Go away, because this is what Babylon 5 is doing.
There you go. I like it.
Couldn't agree more. Well, Brent, the first episode of the 3rd season is called Matters of Honor. This matters because next week, that's the episode we're going to talk about. So based on the title alone and what we just predicted for the 3rd season, Brent, what do you think Matters of Honor will be about?
I'm going back to Londo and Jakar. I think this is kicking off with Londo and Jakar. Londo is really, I think he's really struggling still with the shadows, but he's still wanting to be Centauri. And I think there's going to be something where Londo is continuing his struggle, but he's still got to cling to it. And there's that honor piece, as opposed to Jakar, who is beginning or furthering his building up of this resistance. This is only going to be a couple days after the end of the last season, right? We know that's just how they structure the show. So I think you're going to see that where Jakar is bringing that up. I don't know what's going on with Sheridan and Ivanova and Garibaldi, but I think it's a Londo Jakar struggling with doing their next steps.
Yeah, for like Londo holding onto that wild horse that Garibaldi said he was on. How does that play out for him now? Yeah,
and it's he's struggling between. Oh, well, because didn't he say in the this is the last thing he's going to do with the shadows? He's like, this is the last time. Maybe he tells the shadows like, "Hey, I'm out," and they're like, "No, you're not."
Right?
No, you're not.
That's so cute. That's so cute. You think that,
right? You're in for life now.
Yeah, that's how it works. I think this is going to be a counterpoint episode to There All the Honor Lies.
Okay,
and that's the one where Sheridan killed the Minbari mugger guy that came up, and the Star Killer thing came up again. Yeah. My guess is that Christmas gift that Ivanova gave Sheridan, the Black Star, is going to lead to something, and it's basically going to throw out they're going to deal with Sheridan Star Killer. They're going to address that and then kind of put that to rest until it comes back, because what I see happening, another piece I see happening with season 3 as a whole is the warrior cat. So we've got Earth and Centauri allied. with this, so the warrior cast wants to get back at Earth, and so the Minbar are going to come into the war against Earth and Centauri. But it's going to come up that they want to go after Sheridan as well, but they've already laid the Star Killer stuff to rest, so it's like, be cool, be cool. Well, Brent, we'll find out next week right here on Babylon 5 for the first time, but now it's time.
Let's do it. Let's get it. I was really attached to the thing from last time. I'm excited to give this one away. Like I want to know who's going to get it. Who's going to get this vintage 1997 inbox Captain Sheridan with a big pointy finger and a little teeny tiny Babylon 5 station? Who is going to become the new proud owner of this thing?
If you're watching on YouTube, you could probably see the wash of white from the Excel spreadsheet. It just opened. And yes, for all of the Microsoft Power Apps people out there, I'm using Excel. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And anybody who's just joining us, you don't know, basically anyone who has sent us in a review, and it could be on Apple Podcasts, could be on Good Pods, Podchaser, Audible, Spotify. As long as you took a screenshot of it and emailed it to us or shown it to us, you're in the drawing. And this goes all the way back to from when the show first began, except for the guy who won our season 1 wrap-up show, Trevor. He doesn't qualify. Sorry, Trevor.
Yeah. We've got a winner.
Who is it?
I just need to say, this is for YouTube here, but I just have to say, this feels anticlimactic without the bag. I am going to do I'm like, click. Oh, so just know that I wish this was more. Okay, here we go. Brent, we have a winner. This is a review that was left on Apple Podcasts by IOGDMJ. His name is Darren. Darren sent the email in. Sent it in. So Darren, you win Captain Sheridan. You emailed in your screenshot, so you have all the. All right. Also gonna give him an.
Yes, that's better.
So you have our email, babylon5first@gmail.com. The number 5, the word first. You have the email. Reach out to us. Give us your contact information, and you, Darren, win the Captain Sheridan action figure.
That's awesome. I ain't gonna lie. I was very excited about that. I found another one, and so I bought a second one that I'm gonna keep for myself.
Are you serious?
Yeah. If for those of you on YouTube who haven't seen, I've got this one right up here on my shelf. That's a Manova. So now I'm into I want to get them all.
Gotta get them all. Them all.
But I'm happy to. I happen to find the extra one, but I'm very excited to get this in Darren's hands. Darren, congratulations. You're awesome. And everybody who sent in reviews, you guys are rocking. I think this is now a thing. So when we get to season 3 wrap up, we'll probably do this again. I don't know what we're going to give away then, but keep sending in those reviews because that's how you get entered in to win this thing.
Yeah. And as we're gathering more stuff, we might do something before the season 3 wrap up. So don't hesitate to get those reviews in. And honestly, first, let me just say what I say every week. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining us. We're just 2 nerds who decided to watch Babylon 5 for the first time and feel so humbled that you're here on this journey with us. I mean, I don't know about you, Brent, but every single week we release an episode and the conversations kick off. And I have to pause and just be so thankful for the community that has been built here and the amazing people that we've gotten to know.
Mm-hmm. Really cool. It really is. I always look forward to seeing who's out there, who's commenting. There are people that we've gotten to know, there's the usual crowd. And then there's always new people who bring in new stuff. And we've said it before. I'll say it again. The Babylon 5 fan community is the best fan community. In fact, a quick story of something I saw in the comments. Was this the end of season? No, I think this was real early in season 2.
Okay.
Might have been late season 1, but I think this was real early season 2. Somebody gets into one of the comments and they're just going off about the whole Star Trek thing. And somebody commented like, hey, we as a fandom are better than that. Stop it. I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So Babylon 5 fan community, it's literally the best fan community I've ever been a part of.
And
I've been part of a lot of fan communities. I love my fan community, but
love it. Well, listen, Don't forget to subscribe wherever you're listening and be ready. One, we are so excited when we get reviews from you, mostly because they feel great. We love to hear from you, and we all get to hear this.
Yes.
But also, you will be entered for future drawings for super cool stuff. So stop by Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, wherever. Leave us that review. Send it to us. And Brent, now that we have wrapped season 2, until next time.
Jeff.
Yes.
Jeff.
Brent.
You know, we started this podcast as sort of how would you say, a last best hope to see if maybe we should have watched this one sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now at the end of season 2, I really think this might be our last best hope for victory.
Oh, okay. Peace, victory, and long life.
This is my first time.
Listen,
I don't think we'd ever get done through
I
this whole
didn't either.
thing.
This is like 2.5. I don't know how long this is right now. If you're watching this, I'm gonna let you in on something. You are officially, if you're at this spot of the show, you are officially part of something that Jeff and I call Club 65. Club 65 are the people who watch the show all the way to the end. And what we always say is, listen, you don't talk about Club 65. Don't tell people what it is. Because if you've made it here, you now know what it is. And that means you're officially a part of the membership. You don't have to do anything else. You just made it. And people who aren't a part of Club 65, they don't know what it is. Let them figure it out. Let them think about it. Let them get jealous that you are in the club. But God, thank you guys for watching. So
Well, Brent, don't forget. So this, if you're here and you are a member of Club 65, there is one little way you can tell them now.
which is
one little
awesome.
way.
I'm so excited about this.
We have a t-shirt. We have a t-shirt just for you.
Yeah.
Only you. We're not going to publish this link anywhere. So I'm going to
The
say
only way you can get it is by being right here at this moment of the episode.
go to bit.ly, right? We all know the bit.ly /B5 Club 65. bit.ly B5 Club 65. There it is. Now, yeah, we have a little charge on it for shipping and handling and all that kind of stuff, and to work through
We've
our person.
set the price. We've literally set the price as low as we possibly can do. So you're just getting it at cost.
Yeah.
Is effectively what it is. This is just like our, hey, if you guys want it, go for it.
Here it is, and wear it. Be proud about it. Don't tell people what it is. You can sit and go, what
Just
is
let them
that?
wonder. Just let
Special
them
club.
wonder.
I'm
And
part
just
of
when
a
people
very
ask-
special club.
When people ask, just be like, listen, if you know, you know. If you don't, then you don't.
Or
Just
be like,
watch more Babylon 5 for the first time. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Just do that.
Just
So
watch-
there it is one more time. bit.ly /B5 Club 65.
Yeah,
That's it. That's just
fun.
for you.
It's fun. So you guys make sure you go do that. Jeff, this has been long enough.
Yeah.
So let's get out of here.
Let's do it.
Thanks, guys. You guys rock.